Look at that.
I'm worried about her, the lady in the orange. I'm worried about her.
It doesn't matter where you look around here, young and old, they're well in this. It's a homeboy too in Anrich Nortje who gets that wicket. It's a first wicket for him in T20 internationals. What a time and what an atmosphere for it. 143 for 6. Yeah, Mitchell Starc is in, and as you look at this, it's a worry for Australia, the fact that it's so many left-handers that keep coming in. And what it does with right-armers operating is that it allows them, with those off-cutters that they bowl, to be going against the swing of the arc that the left-handers have. So it plays into South Africa's hands.
Righto, you've got to shut down the boundaries.
He can't watch. He can't watch. He's hiding.
4 balls left, 16 required. Shut down the boundaries. That's what South Africa need to do. Australia need boundaries. Hard into the ground. Side the stumps, no. Decides against it. Could that be it? Are we going to Cape Town now? 1-1.
Don't speak too soon. Don't touch the money.
There was an R there. 15 from 3.
3 sixes.
Warner's on strike.
Exactly.
It's not the biggest ground in the world. Righto. Miller and Du Plessis are back straight. Nortje. It's a beautiful shot. Straight to the covers. No run taken.
Had to run. Unless he's hoping for a no ball somewhere.
That's all he is hoping for now.
Had to run. Oh, I know why he couldn't watch.
Now
He's got an Aussie shirt on.
Well done.
Oh.
It didn't take you long. 2 balls left. What a game. Fall into the pad. What an extraordinary game this is from South Africa. Unbelievable game of cricket. My goodness, we have seen everything.
We wondered why. I thought perhaps it wasn't good batting. Perhaps it's the surface and the nature of things here on the coast. What a reaction, though, from South Africa.
Last ball. Beautiful stuff from Nortje. South Africa have done it. The celebrations begin here in Port Elizabeth. They are ecstatic with this performance. This is the sort of game that good teams win. Now, they were thrashed in the first game at the Wanderers, totally outplayed in all departments. They wanted to bounce back. They wanted to prove a point. They've done exactly that. Congratulations, South Africa.
Australia will be looking and saying, how did we manage not to get over the line there? They seemed so in control all the way through. A good start. The first 6 overs went well. The middle of the game, they were controlling things, good partnerships. And then at the back end, just lost wickets at the wrong times. And once that happened, South Africa were able to just storm back into the game. It brings joy to the face of Quinton de Kock, the skipper. And no doubt, it's a bounce back that was necessary for South Africa, having been absolutely walloped in Johannesburg.
That is an absolute screamer.
There's a big shot.
That is top draw.
Hi, I'm Dave.
Dave starts next Thursday, 8:30 on Fox Showcase. This program brought to you by Bunnings Warehouse. Shop wherever you are, whenever you want. Toyota. Cricket. Oh, what a feeling. Bet365. And Harvey Norman. Everything you need in electrical, technology, furniture and bedding.
Can you hear me? Welcome everybody, the third KFC T20 International. If you're joining us for the first time, the toss has been won by Quinton de Kock, and he's chosen to bowl first, which isn't necessarily what everybody else would have done, but there is a suggestion here. Stats tell us that chasing under lights works at this ground. The ball seems to skid off the surface a little better, and when it comes onto the bat, of course, with the way the guys play today, they find it easier than when it grips in the surface, so that might be the thinking behind it. But beautiful day, it really is. A little breezier than it was yesterday and the day before. Not quite as hot. Yesterday was a scorcher here, got up to 37 degrees. Today around the mid-20s, and a heavenly Cape Town day. The mountain, of course, looking sternly upon us, hoping that the players do their bit. There are the Australians, no change to their side. Furious with themselves for not getting over the line. How often did David Warner end up unbeaten and a match not won in a run chase? Then Ashton Agar, who was the man responsible for the hat-trick and the man of the match in the first game, along with all the other bowlers who bowled very well for the South Africans in PE, but it still wasn't quite enough to see them over the line, the batsmen coming undone. A single change to the South African side. Risa Hendricks is out. Rassie van der Dussen is coming up to the top of the order. Heinrich Klaassen comes into the middle order. A lot of powerful strikers with the ball there. They're obviously determined to have a long look at Pike van Biljon. Pretorius is playing, Dwayne Pretorius. And then the bowlers who played the other night. So Dale Steyn is not playing today. Here's David Warner. Dangerous man, along with Aaron Finch, his captain, who's at the other end. Great excitement. We think that Newlands will be full tonight, and no great surprise in that. Very difficult to get into the ground at the moment. I'm sure it'll fill up quickly. Sean Pollock is sitting alongside me. And KG Rabada has the new ball. There's a slip in place. This new ball against Warner and Finch, Sean, is never easy.
Yeah, I think it's going to be key, but what's going to be even more of a key for me will be how the ball performs off the surface in the first 2 or 3 overs. Whether we see the ball gripping and maybe South Africa going to early cutters. Rabada is class no matter what the format may be, and he'll be hoping that he can strike. South Africa got rid of Warner in the second delivery of the first T20 at the Wanderers. They'll be hoping to do something similar this time around.
Let's play.
Here we go then, Rabada versus Warner. Good start from Rabada, and a hint of movement.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of people who've got the ability and the skill level to shape the ball up front. I've seen the impact of someone like a Mitchell Starc throughout his career, and even Dale Steyn, for example, in the T20 format. Jasprit Bumrah, how to get the ball to move are a challenge, and this is a brilliant start. Movement back in towards the left hand. It just gives him something to think about. He can't just stand and deliver. He actually may have to play a few normal orthodox cricket shots just until they get themselves in and work out what it's doing. And what KG wants to see now is some away swing from the right-hander.
Good pace immediately from Rabada. Cross with himself, a grunt of frustration as he let that go wide down the leg side. Debangani Jelly is the umpire. Yeah, it would be nice to see a little away movement, getting that balance between bat and ball right. Gee, what a stroke that is. On the up, out of the blocks, please.
That's the modern game. Fortunately for the bowlers, just have a look at this. Finch just clears that front leg, doesn't even think about getting into line. You see his back legs lined up on middle stump, but his front legs well outside leg stump. Doesn't matter, it's the second delivery. He's just looking to be attacking, looking to put pressure on the bowler, looking to hit boundaries. And there's not a better example than hit it on the up than that.
He wants to. That's great running. That really is. He knew straight away there was the chance. Sprinted the first, made the second easy.
Brilliant at St George's Park. It was almost tip and run at one stage between these two. Brilliant understanding. They've batted together on many occasions. Touch and move. It's so important. Bonus runs up front. And you do get the feeling that Rabard is very conscious of not giving up any width. And straight away the field change. The slip comes out. He wants to be as straight as possible.
Yeah, I always question that, and you're the guy to ask about it, because what you're trying to do with that new ball is move it, and if you do get it to move away and he nicks it and there isn't a slip in place, it's certainly 4, so it's a defensive position slip, but moreover it might be out. That's what really matters.
Yeah, there were times, I think my first 2 or 3 overs in one-day internationals, I really looked to try and get the ball to swing and get the movement going, and if someone got in, then I would maybe be a little bit more restrictive and try and tack the stumps. Even in a T20 format, it might only be 2 or 3 deliveries that you try something for. But I think the reason that's caused him to go straighter was that first on the up drive from Finch.
Another fielding change already, and we're still in the first over.
Yep.
This time cover's gone back. That's tight. Oh! No, I don't know. I'm not sure that Heinrich Klaasen was alert to that. I maybe didn't gather the ball cleanly.
Yeah, he didn't have to do anything. It was actually at cover. This is the ideal situation. The ball bounces up. On the second bounce, it goes right into his hands. It just almost needed a quicker release because Warner would have made his ground. And to have a ball hit into the ground to man at short cover and be able to get through that easily, that's not the kind of pressure South Africa are looking to apply.
Around you there. Just a fraction. Yep.
So we saw one ball from Kagiso Rabada shaped back into David Warner. And then he was going to go around the wicket. Now he's going to go back over. So maybe looking for more of that shape.
Good finish, boy. Good finish.
First one done, 9 for no wicket.
Good weather for this match, no chance of rain, 19 kilometers per hour. The wind apparently is a bit of a stronger one coming through Cape Town tomorrow. We'll get some more dust on the pitch. Nortje will be opening the bowling for South Africa. Strong batting lineup, same settled batting lineup that Australia have used throughout the series.
Heinrich Nortje, who's impressed all summer, but really impressed at the end of that PE game when he bowled full and straight and kept his wits about him. That's the great thing, to have the temperament for the moment. Finch on strike. Cover is the boundary rider, so to square leg. Not quite timed that by Aaron Finch, came off the bottom of the bat, but clearly, oh, that's a good stop. Whoa, I thought that would dribble over that boundary triangle or foam, whatever you want to call it. Clearly Finch has decided that this will get slower later, as did PE, and you have to take advantage now.
Off screen there's an examination of his bat by Aaron Finch, and they definitely didn't come anywhere near the middle, right at the bottom, but the contact was good enough to take it over the inner ring. You can see last minute just scooping it back.
Finch has certainly signposted this now to the South Africans. I'm after this new ball. Oh, no, not back for 2. Great fielding. Get to the ball quickly, release it quickly. That's how intense this cricket is. Everybody's on edge.
Yeah, he has been diving all over the cushions on the boundary rope. 50%. This was the catch that was taken. Here he dives over. Good dive by David Miller. This is the modern game and the different levels of fielding that you experience these days.
Bowled, well bowled. Oh, Henrik Nortje holds his head in his hands. He knew that was heading back towards the stumps. It was just how much it had on it. It's a bit like the way Finch was out the other night, actually. Trying to make a bit of room offside. And when the ball comes back at him, there's nothing he can do about it.
This is the first example of a cutter from South Africa this evening, and I'm sure we'll see plenty more of these as the game goes on. We try and get it in earlier rather than later just to see what effect it has, and there's definitely movement as it pitches, so that would suggest the surface is going to grip.
Yeah, it's not something Finch used to do. It's new to his game. He'd be happy to stay offside and go mid-on or mid-wicket. See how he's staying leg side. More good running. These South African fielders saving a single have to be on toes, not heels.
Yeah, I think it's something that when the World Cup comes around, the team who gets it right from an inner ring fielding perspective will have an impact on these games. Someone who can get off that inner ring quickly, anticipate it coming and get a good strong throw away at the stumps. Those run-outs as a bowling unit are just as important as a jaffer. If you can somehow find a way to break a partnership through a good bit of fielding, it's vital in this T20 format.
Great expectation of this South African team this evening. A lot of fans are sort of saying it was great winning in PE, but to win the series is the thing to give the boost in self-belief that the young guys starting out need. You play against a powerful, well-known team like the Australians and beat them in such a series, you do wonders for your confidence.
No!
15 for no wicket. Great summer for Nortje.
In many ways he's been the find, and it didn't all start off all that dandy for him. Tour of India was a bit of an eye-opener, but ever since they've come back to the shores of South Africa, he has been superb. Not only with his attitude, his bowling skills, even his batting skills have been superb.
Two fielders allowed outside the 30-metre circle in the first Powerade power play. Indeed, in this form of the game, it's the only Powerade power play. Three different ones in 50-over cricket, but just one, 6 overs worth. And 20-over cricket, and they end up with a single, do they? Oh, they do just. Warner threw himself across the line. Sign of a man desperate to preserve his wicket.
That speed of that delivery, 121, the second example of a cut, and it's worked a trick again. Q end of the bat. Miller decides to try and inflict the run out. Knock on scrum down. Bit of a bad bounce there for Pretorius, to be honest. Warner launching himself.
Shot. Clever shot. Maybe it wasn't the sharpest bit of fielding, but Finch went with the pace of the ball.
Yeah, and it was pace taken off. The key to the delivery for Finch is that it's heading down the leg side, so he can just help it on his way. It's the leg cutter this time from KG. He's played it nicely. Look, he ends up not even getting a hand on it, finger.
They're not good, those, are they? Oh, well, hello. Hello. That bowler is KG Rabada, and that batsman is Aaron Finch.
Yeah, you can't really work out where it's going to land, and then you see the people in the crowd starting to get out of their seats and lining themselves up for a catch. You know the contact's good enough. Cross seam from KG. 142 kilometers per hour, and Finch, as we mentioned, just clears that front leg. It's the pose he holds and middles it.
Wide on.
Very quiet.
Yes.
Oh yeah, another single from a little mishap. These are the little things, particularly at the start of a game. Little misfields cost you, well, boundaries are bad, but singles aren't good either because of the rotation of the strike and the momentum. Very frustrating. You need to start tight.
Yeah, it's something that slipped into the South African unit. We saw the game in the Wanderers where there was 3 examples of catches that went comfortably to individuals that basically didn't even get a hand on. Hasn't been the best so far.
As ever, of course, then you get a bit of luck go your way as a batsman, and you think to yourself, well, I've made my own there. I've taken advantage of everything going. So it's another flyer for the Australians.
South Africa deciding to bowl first. They didn't want this kind of outcome after 2.5 overs. Here's a flyer for sure. It flies over. Short third man. Runs on the board, always important in deciders. Ideal start this for Australia.
Run, Davey. No, stay there.
Just 3 gone. It's 32 for no wicket.
Adrian.
Building blocks. Certainly made a start that would suggest a big total, though we did see that in PE as well from both teams. And then it got much more difficult later. Here's Nokia. There's the Australian tactic in the series, which is clearly a plan going forward. They've got 13 games after this one, 2020 cricket before the start of the T20 World Cup in Australia, is to work very hard on forcing mistakes from that inner ring. So you're not just trying to beat it, but you're also trying to take it on by stealing singles, pushing for 2s, searching to take advantage of misfields.
Lines and lengths. The field that's set for the South Africans is third man in the ring, fine leg in the ring. So basically you have to be bowling straight at the stumps, and that would be the tactic they'd try and employ to David Warner, as we saw in that package. They want to keep it straight to both these batsmen, hitting the stumps. Now, Australia have been good as when the ball has been straight and difficult to get away, they've rotated strike, and when they've missed their mark, much like that delivery, away to the boundary.
Back it up, yep, someone is, Dwayne Pretorius is. This reminds me of cricket in India, when if you're playing against the Indians, whoever you are, and you're hitting boundaries, there's dead silence all the way around the ground. Something is needed to lift this crowd, to get it involved in the game. That something is a wicket.
How good is the running between the wickets? It's just an inside edge. If it hits the pad, if it squirts out either offside, leg side, they're away. It's almost tip and run between these two. See on his pads, he gets them across the line.
Shot, fantastic batting that. Get away from the ball like that, and if it's pushed a little wider off stump, you use all, it's coming quickly at you, get a lot of bat on it in the way that he does with that open blade. Pretty good stuff.
You have to learn to follow the batsman in these situations. He moves early enough for you to be able to see it, and then somehow you can't offer up width because it wasn't wide of the stumps, but because of the movement it creates that angle for Warner to work with. Just opens the face over the top. Nicely played.
Beautiful strike down the ground from the unorthodox and surprising to the pure and simple.
And you feel like the concentration from Nortje's, I've got to be straight at the stumps. Unfortunately, he gets this length wrong. And the man with the ability that Warner has, he'll just pop you back over your head. His North cutter came out slow. He just holds, and then when it gets to him, straight bat. 14 or 5 deliveries from the over already.
And now pull stroke through mid-wicket, and I think it'll be 4 more. It will. A little burst from Warner. 3 consecutive boundaries. What a start. 50 on the board after 4.
Yeah, the initiative definitely been taken away by the Australians, put into bat. This power rate power play has been superb for them. A real strength at the top of the order. The 2 of them left-handed, right-handed combination, and they put you under immense pressure. That over 18 from it. Still 2 overs to go in this power play. South Africa, with all the work, all the plans to come up with, is what they've dealt so far has not worked at all.
Yeah. Well, I said building blocks, and they're getting bigger. This is a real problem for South Africa. There's nothing in the pitch. So how do they stem the tide? Hey, 4 more. A flying fielder at backward point, David Miller, I think, but not a hope.
Yeah, some more width from the South African bowlers. And Giddy at the top of his run, you've got to think, well, how do I get myself into this over? I've got 2 men set, one on 20, the other on 25. What do? Do I go to the slow ball first? Do I go back of a length at the stumps? He just offered up the width, and now he's under pressure straight away. 4 from the first.
Yeah, the bad balls have gone short, but so have the good ones. Giddy's second ball. Already he'll feel the heat. He really will feel the heat. That might be the shot of the innings so far.
Yeah, that was the Fred Astaire, over to the offside and then back to the leg side to open up the area where he wanted the delivery to go. Contact brilliant again. Top of the bounce, length, delivery. South Africa have got a long on in place and a square leg in place, so you're thinking now, as Ngidi, maybe I've just got to venture nice and full and see if I can get him to strike it straight down the ground to my man at mid-on or long on. Length, I think, gives too many options away to Finch at this stage.
Oh, and still they get a single out of a perfect Yorker. Finch is 34 from, I think it's 17 balls. Warner's 22 from 11 balls. They're both striking at 200 or better. In other words, 2 a ball, each of them, or better. 20 minutes, that's all. 20 minutes of cricket. There's 59 on the ball.
9 4s and a 6. It's been a good display of boundary hitting and brilliant rotation of the strike to combine to make it 59 of 28.
The other thing I felt about the fielding first, particularly on such a flat deck, is that it creates extra pressure for Quinton, because 20 overs as a captain, keeping wicket as well, and all the things you have to think about in 2020 cricket, all the little frustrations. We had a flurry of boundaries here, 5 in 6 balls plus a single, and now a wide, and you can see the frustration on his face. Then he's got to go in and bat later, carrying all of that baggage. Whereas if South Africa bat first, he goes in free of traffic, clear-headed.
I wonder if the one-day international where they batted second against England dictated that Quinton felt like he was comfortable chasing. But it's a valid point. You're under stress, and then when he comes to the crease, he has to go at a mighty rate of knots. The pressure's on you.
Gum-chewing Aaron Finch. I wonder if he's aware that there have only been 6 dot balls since the start of this game. We're 1 ball away from 5 overs. That's 30.
I might be disappointed that there's been 6.
Finch wants 2. No. Warner screamed, waved at him. 5 gone. 63 for no wicket. Okay, with a change in the commentary box as we have a look at what's been and what's to come. 3 one-day matches, Paarl, Bloemfontein, Potchefstroom. We're going around the country a bit there. And of course the series decided today. And with that we can introduce JP Duminy. Great to have him with us. And Mike Hazeman. Great to have Hazy too.
Mike, thanks very much. So just bear those in mind. After this one, we're still going. First one Paarl, second one in Bloemfontein, then in Potchefstroom. But what a start for Australia. They are out of the blocks so quickly today.
It's all right if you stay still there.
Dwayne Pretorius now is going to try and stop the bleeding. Oh, he's like that one. He has hammered that. That is a magnificent shot. That has gone a long way back for 6.
Yeah, that's some start to this over here for Dwayne Pretorius. We spoke about trying to stop the bleeding. Well, it's just continuing here. Slightly on the shorter side. And, that's bread and butter for David Warner.
Quick single taken. Now there's going to be a few scrambled minds out there from the South Africans right now, because the way that the Australians have got after the attack has been quite extraordinary. Now when a new bowler comes into play and suddenly he gets that first up, that does do something a little bit strange to your mind. So Pretorius, who's one of those guys the captain can generally rely on, has certainly got to make sure that he gets things back on track here and does a job for his captain. Now Quinton de Kock, and I heard the boys before us, Sean and Mark, talking what a tough job this is for Quinton de Kock right now. That's what happens. Wide call. That's unusual for Dwayne Pretorius. Got to get a wicket. That's the only thing that's going to get things back on track right now.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of a T20 game. Yes, you can lose your way somewhat in a period of play, but there's always opportunities to come back. You mentioned the wicket being that one, so they'll be targeting this, South Africa.
I think there's no doubt that the plan from South Africa today was to make sure they get rid of this partnership straight away, try and break this stand straight away. When that doesn't happen right at the beginning, then it really does put them on the back foot. And I also think there's no doubt that Australia's caught South Africa on the hop here. I don't think that South Africa's prepared for this sort of onslaught, and this is the sort of work that guys like Warner and Finch can do. Always a big swing and a miss, slower ball that time from Pretorius.
Great swing, mate. Great swing.
Yeah, Dwayne Pretorius renowned for his change-ups. That's a better length for sure, bowling that change-up, and we saw the first delivery of this over on the slightest shorter side. And, David Warner, who likes to stay leg side, gets to free his arms. So welcome dot ball for sure.
Right, can he finish? 9 from this over, 2 to go. bottom edge. Just going to be the one.
Yeah, it's always an interesting mindset when you look at an onslaught like this in the power play, 73 without loss. What sort of mindset can you continue with going into when this field spreads? A sort of combination between having the mindset of trying to take wickets but also trying to stop the bleeding. So as a captain, it's always a tough objective.
Last ball, the over. Eases that away. Now, we know that Warner's running between the wickets is quite ridiculous, and that is outstanding stuff. That really is. Turning that into a 2 is really special. That's the end of the power play, 75 for none. This is the way that Australia got out of the block so quickly. Didn't matter who it was. That was extraordinary stuff from Finch. Just look at the work in the Powerade power play. 75 runs scored. Some extraordinary shots from both these players. Certainly not scared to go airborne at all. They are chasing leather, South Africa. 75 runs scored in the first 6 overs. So straight away that runs per over is up at 12.5. Just 7 dot balls in the first 6 overs. Shamsi now, who had a terrific game the last one.
Yeah, you feel from South African point of view, this is a trump card bringing into play here into Shamsi. Definitely thinking of wickets, particularly from him. He's been in good form, particularly in this series. So can he produce the goods here for South Africa?
Well, they're not going to let him settle. They're going to get after him straight away. Cries of catcher, but it's a lovely shot. Solid work, good work from Miller too. That's outstanding work from Miller.
Yeah, and that's what you want to see. You want to see the fielders backing up the bowlers. As you mentioned, they're definitely going to take him on. Particularly the mindset of Tabraiz Shamsi needs to be, well, they're going to take me on. It's an opportunity to get wickets, particularly with the field out. Opportunities will be all right.
Well, the form is so good from these two guys now that they can play around a little bit with Shamsi, looking for boundary, of course. There's a man at long off, also at long on. Straight down the ground, there's no one. The power hitting from these two guys, they'll consider that an opportunity. Hammered away, and that's gone for 4.
Yeah, the challenge has been the length from the South Africans up until this point. And unfortunately, Shamsi drops this one short. Aaron Fidge into it in a flash and finds the gap beautifully on the leg side.
So suddenly that pressure has been transferred now. Straight back onto Shamsi. A little bit fuller, that's nicely bowled. Not scared to give it a bit of flight. Good work from Shamsi. A couple of concerned faces in the viewing area. Hit that one. They'll try and come back for the second. They do that quite comfortably.
It's been a massive feature of this partnership between Finch and Warner. They're running between the wickets. They've done it on many occasions and they understand each other well. Communication has been clear. Anything up, Finch is definitely going to take it on.
Just the single that time. If they can continue at this rate, they'll get very close to the 250 mark. I mean, that's unbelievable. The pitch is good, coming onto the bat nicely. The only thing that's going to slow this down is if they pick up a wicket. Then, of course, it's Smith, who we know is an outstanding player. But the start they've got here has certainly got them on track for 200 plus. Shamsi's first over has gone for 9. That's going to have him thinking as well. 84 for none.
What do you want, looks, Bill?
Certainly looking more relaxed there. Justin Langer, the Australian coach, and Steve Smith, the man that's due to come in next. Let's have a look at these numbers. Strike rate, that's important. 130 rounded up for Steve Smith. Matthew Wade has certainly struggled a little bit. Mitchell Marsh is someone who likes to go strong and long, so he's a power hitter. Alex Carey's a very good T20 cricketer. And Ash Nagar will be looking to do a job with the ball, and Pat Cummins is one of the finest around with the ball. So Ngidi, 12 off his first over. One thing he's done so well is come back strongly when he gets it with a tap at the start. Good stuff. Good start from Ngidi.
Yeah, you mentioned it. It's been a feature of his game, particularly in the white ball formats. He's come back strongly, and we've seen that a little bit in the first T20. And, yeah, just about stopping the bleeding now, isn't it? 85 runs, 7.1 overs, run rate at just a tick under 12. Where are they going to get those wickets?
It's going to be a wide. I think one of the important things about these sort of starts is you've got to make sure that you increase the run rate from here. Good teams do that. The teams that are not right at the top of the bunch are the sort of sides that will, if they lose a wicket or two, suddenly that run rate will just go down a fraction. The good teams will stay at around about the 12 mark because of their start. Now that's a terrific building blocks at the start of the innings, and that Manhattan graph for Australia. A little bit better, the first one just outside the power play, but it was still 9. Good change down from Ngidi. Going to see more and more of that on the surface.
Yeah, and the key, the length is so key in terms of bowling those change-ups. We've seen South Africa slightly on the short side at times, and these two in particular have been quick to pounce on it, finding the cow corner quite easily in the power play. Generally, you don't have the man out there. It's been a feature of his game in the T20 format. Good change of pace. But this is where these two are so good. They still manage to get the twos.
Leg side. They feed off that all day. That sort of delivery. Full on the legs. 2 more. I think always when you have an opening stand like this for Australia, Warner and Finch, you spend a lot of time talking about the destruction of David Warner. One person who should have more attention is that bloke, Aaron Finch. His career stats, I think, in the T20 international game are just unbelievable. That's another wide. Let's just have a look at these numbers for his T20 international career, JP. I mean, look at that strike rate. So 62 games now, very close to 2,000 runs. An average, we can round that up, I guess, to 40. And the strike rate at 157.
Yeah, one of the best around in the T20 game. He's been destructive in IPLs and particularly for Australia.
Good change of pace again from Ngidi. He's also got 2 of the highest 3 scores in T20 cricket, and the big scores. I saw that best there of was 170. He's got 150 and 170 as well.
Yeah, generally you kind of add the two together, the average and the strike rate, and that gives you an idea of how good players actually are. And those are some tremendous numbers for sure. He's led from the front as the skipper of this white ball side. He's been a phenomenal player across this format.
South Africa need to break this partnership. Just the one. That's how they can get into this game. It's as simple as that. Got to break this stand, get a new batsman in, and if they happen to get one, there's every chance. A pattern of cricket actually throughout the world these days. If you get one, there's a chance of getting two. And then you get guys like Wade in, who's a guy who just works it around, and that's going to slow the scoring rate a little bit. Mitchell Marsh hasn't got going with the willow either. So there's a bit of an opportunity, should that happen. Get one, get two, and change a game quite quickly. But to break this stand is a real challenge right now with them playing like this. 9 from that, 93 for none.
Band in full swing here at Newlands in Cape Town. Full crowd. What a start it's been for Australia.
Shamsi doesn't mind playing that switch hit.
Yeah, it's a feature of his game, is David Warner. He's been pretty successful over the years with that shot. It's a confusing thing when you know players play those kind of shots as a spinner. You got to know what you're doing.
Straight, powerful, one bounce, 4 runs. That is really clean from Warner.
Great use of the feet here from David Warner. Shamsi coming at a bit of air. Strike by this young man. He's been phenomenal for Australia in this format. David Warner.
So the stand is now 97. Opening the blade, just the one. He's been busy, David Miller.
I just called him a young man, Easy.
I did hear you. He'll like that. Nicely bowled by Shamsi. Might have seen Finch coming and just dropped it a little bit short, a little bit straighter. He bowled superbly in the last game. Tabraiz Shamsi just going for 17 in his 4 overs. Certainly is a different challenge today when these guys are on fire and charging. Cries of catch it. Has fallen in a vacant area. Miller again just coming around. End result as they pick up a couple of runs, and that brings up the 100 stand. It's the 3rd time that these two guys have had a 100 stand in T20 international cricket. That is quite remarkable.
Yeah, the intensity that these two bat at is phenomenal to watch as a young man. There's always this look in their face that they're looking to score.
Warner's running. He wanted 2 there, was sent back quite correctly by Finch in the end, but the fact that Warner's intent is so good every time is remarkable. 102 for none. This really is an amazing ground. Has been sold out for a couple of days. It was a rush for the tickets after that game in Port Elizabeth. When Australia won that thriller in Port Elizabeth, suddenly everyone wanted to buy a ticket to come and watch this game at Newlands. some 17,000 people here. The construction, of course, has taken the space of a few seats. So if you're a cricket lover, you've got to, I guess, be impressed with the work that these two guys have done. Hosts of South Africans clearly here. Not too many happy faces out there right now, but the way that Warner and Finch are going about things is brilliant. Pretorius, 12 off his first, about to start his second from the Kelvin Grove end.
I've always enjoyed watching David Warner, the way he manipulates the field. He uses the crease pretty well, gives himself a bit of space to access the offside. And then he sort of anticipates whether you're going to go straight and clears the leg side again. He's really worked out his game in terms of where his scoring areas are. We saw in the previous over him hitting over extra cover as well, with Shamsi turning the ball away. He's oozing with confidence, is David Warner.
Both want to. Reading each other's minds here, and they do that quite comfortably. That's good work from both these batsmen. 50 up now for Finch. 27 balls only, 6 fours and 1 6.
Yeah, 12th career 50 for Aaron Finch, the captain. What a knock it's been thus far. Just 9.2 overs. These two are going along pretty swiftly. 105 already. You seem to see how the last 10 goes.
Good work from Pretorius. Right at the start of this innings, we saw some very quick bowling from Nortje. One delivery was 150 k's per hour. Didn't see any of that from Nortje. You don't expect to see that sort of stuff from Nortje right at the start. He is given a job to run in and bowl quickly. But there's no doubt that these Australian batsmen enjoyed that. They liked the fact that the ball was coming on nicely, and they fed off him, and he unfortunately got pasted right at the beginning. Oh, that's right out of the middle. That is a big hit again. My goodness, that is outstanding stuff from Warner. 50 up for him as well.
Wow, what a blow by David Warner. Just opens up that right leg, clears the arms. A slow ball by Dwayne Pretorius. Slightly on the full side. And just the 30 balls for his 50. 2 maximums, 5 boundaries. Going at a healthy strike rate is David Warner.
Again, just giving yourself some room. Just the one this time.
Just have a look at this shot by David Warner. Just opens up that leg ever so slightly. And times it superbly. A little shuffle down the wicket as well. Man, is he in good touch at the moment.
Cleverly opened the blade again. Just the one. So 12 runs off that over. 10 overs gone. Halfway mark now. 114 for none. What an extraordinary stand this is from Finch and Warner. The South African bowlers will be very concerned about this, and I think all the plans that were so clear 10 overs ago won't be so clear now. Partnership in the middle is absolutely superb right now, and we've got a very good one for you in the commentary box. Eric Simons and Pommy Mbangwa.
Thank you, Michael. Well, these Australians, they've been fantastic. Warner, Finch, what a start for Australia. Exactly what they'd have wanted. Pummeling the ball to all parts of the park. And they shall not relent, I can tell you.
And that signal, just one of the really impressive aspects of the way they've gone about this. It's been a lot of power in between. they haven't done is face many dot balls. They've kept South African bowlers under pressure every single delivery, be it boundaries or be it singles. They're running between the wicket, as Mike and JP were saying, has been absolutely superb.
Nicely struck. They're thinking too they'll get back for a second. Good communication between them. They're very experienced, have played a long time, and they already have 2 other 100 partnerships. Starting things up here in exactly the fashion that Australia would like. Best partnership for them, 122 against Sri Lanka. It's under threat. Oh, nearly.
Just a glimmer of a hope there. He's about to throw himself to his right. He's not able to get a finger to it. Until the glimmer of a hope. David Warner looking for the boundary, but nearly holding out. And South Africa desperately need that wicket. The other person they're communicating with are the fielders, because every time they set off, the fielder knows a fumble and it's 2. They really are putting them under a lot of pressure, be it the circle or be it the boundary riders.
The last few of us have been relatively good. I say relatively good. If you look at the bottom of the screen, they're 11.24 is the rate they're going at. In the last 5 overs, it's been less than that. So yeah, a few overs of less than 10. The usual has been 10 and more. A retort required by South Africa. Perhaps a piece of fielding can inspire and get them back on track here.
Just like that. That's exactly what they do need. Someone to throw themselves around, get a hand to a catch, make a great stop, or run out, whatever it is, just to break the rhythm. Because at the moment it's all in one direction. A rare dot ball.
And also try and get this crowd back. Here they are, silent, watching their home side being smashed. 2 dots. Wow. 119 without loss.
Bowlers have all taken a hammering. The numbers are not going to read good when you're going at just under 12 and over. They've taken some pressure, and every one of them did. Shamsi just putting a bit of a stop on there. 2 dot balls at the back end of that over. And he's 119 11 overs has been his standout. Just 7.3 bowling good areas. A lot of credit has got to go to the Australian batsmen. They really have applied the pressure. They've kept South Africa on the back foot, and the balls in the area have been aggressive.
Side here, 12, 12, 10 and a half, 12, and then Shamsi, 7.33. And he's responsible for the 5 overs where it's slowed down.
I know. Good.
Much chit-chat as they try to get the field exactly right. They will keep going back, no doubt. Everybody will go there to the decision to bowl first. Just a single. Nice. A few dots, just some quiet period, and that's what's required from South Africa to try and create some sort of pressure. And if they can, perhaps they can get a breakthrough, need a wicket desperately, perhaps even need 2 or 3.
And that's the length of ball at Newlands. You just need to get it stumps and just a little bit higher. Every time you bowl in that area, you find the batsman has to take a chance. Even if it does go to the boundary, there's still no reason to stick there, not to stick there. And Anish Nortje shows you disappointment. David Warner can just smile.
It's up. Miller. He takes it. For a second I feared that Rassie van der Dussen, who was running in from the boundary, was going to absolutely clatter into him, because he only had eyes for the ball. Fortunately, he looked down at the right time. There's the breakthrough. It's Warner who goes, and perhaps this sparks South Africa into action. Australia have been brilliant. Warner responsible for that too.
Followed up a very good delivery, just top of the off stump. Sharp, short, and very quick. David Miller had to take his time, and he takes it well as a good fielder. And I'll be very happy to see the back of David Warner.
Yep, he walks off and he shakes his head a bit, but he's done well. Gone for 57. It's 120 for 1. Something for the crowd to cheer about. They had sat patiently, and in fact some of it might well have been excruciating. The sound of the ball off the bat and it disappearing to all parts. Good bumper. Matthew Wade, new man in a 3. What a platform the two seniors are set before him. Strike rate of 111.7, best of 72. With this platform and not too many overs to go, they'd want him to get going pretty much straight away. Must take care though, it was the problem for Australia in the previous game.
Oh, come on!
Another dot. That's 3 dots in a row.
And that's a short form of the game, but again, it's back to the same plan. You look at Shamsi at the end of his over, the 2 dots. A great delivery from Nortje, and then the bouncer for the wicket and another dot. And so you stack it up, and that's how you put together a strategy when the batsmen are going against you. You have to see it as a platform. Bowl to even a single at this stage is a great outcome when batsmen are thinking boundaries, and that's the way the bowlers need to think.
Beautiful. No feet that time, perhaps expecting a short one. And then he just held back, tried to throw the hands at the ball. What an over this is. Now to close it out, Anish Nortje is gone for just 1. He's got the wicket of Warner, and then he's bowled a couple more dots after that. And they're not dots to the new man, they're dots to the man who's in, Finch. Work leg side, just a single, so 2 runs in the over in a game that's going at more than 10s. What an over, especially because of the wicket too. 1-1 for 1.
Very good over from Anish Nortje, following on Shamsi, who bowled a good over before him, and together there's a reason why David Warner's back in the hut. 57, must be said, he batted extremely well, put South Africa under pressure. And South Africa, well, that little period certainly stuck to their task.
Long order, back deep to Australia. Won't need all those, surely not with just 8 overs to go. But those who do turn up have to make sure they do not waste this start. Can't afford to let South Africa back into this game. It's a lot of runs already. Shamsi to finish off.
leg byes. Certainly the intensity of the running between the wickets won't drop with Matthew Wade at the wicket. Interesting that he's come in, left-hander. Guess that they've gone with the left-hander, right-hander plan. Steve Smith would generally have come in number 3, but with the start they've got, decided to go with the left-hander. Matthew Wade is another player that can be unorthodox, hit the ball into different areas, and that's what you need in T20. And they probably communicated back to the change room as well. Maybe not quite as easy to find the boundaries if the ball's in good areas. So Matthew Wade, a good foil for someone like Aaron Finch.
Beautiful. The batsmen were able to just walk out there and get started pretty much straight away. They try to impose themselves on the game, make sure that they get to the tempo of the game pretty quickly. Not an easy thing to do.
That's one of the reasons I'm a bit surprised Steve Smith didn't come out. He's one of the best in the world. I don't know how many bowling meetings I've sat in, and there are a few batsmen you talk about for ages. One of them would be David Warner, Aaron Finch would be one, Quinton de Kock would be one, and certainly Steve Smith would be one. You talk a long time about them trying to find the plans.
Just looks left-right combination might be what they're going after. Oh, it's close, you know. It's out. It's out. There you go. Shamsi has bowled well in this game. He deserved that one. He deserved at least one. It's the big one. Finch.
It certainly is indeed. And let's put together the last 11 or 12 balls. 11 or 12 balls is what's brought this wicket. We often talk about batting teams getting into a speed wobble in these situations. They're going at 12, they want to keep going. And you have to feed off that as a bowling attack. You have to understand what our opposition want to do. And Shams has done exceptionally well. He's been the one that's been able to keep Australia quiet. Aaron Finch has to leave, 55.
Yeah, they're just about coming to life. A couple of wickets. It means that they've got something to celebrate. They'll be in this game. It looked too much one-way traffic whilst Finch and Warner were going. I said maybe with Smith not coming in at 3, might be a left-hand, right-hand combination scenario. Perhaps not. He's not coming again at 4. It's Mitchell Marsh who's come out. He's a big hitter. Loves to whack him. Can he whack him straight away? That's the question.
Yeah, the question is, does the situation need it? And this will show you the wicket, but it really has been 12 really good deliveries between Shamsi and Nortje. Just applying the pressure, stopping the boundaries. The odd dot ball, a lot of singles as well in between. And it leads Aaron Finch to make a mistake that leads to his demise. Great delivery, great bowling by Aaron Shamsi.
Yeah, Shamsi was really good because he bowled well at him, particularly. Single to finish. Spell is done. A good day out for Tabrez Shamsi. 1 for 25 with 8 dots in that. It's 1-2-5 for 2. And we're going to the bucket.
Buckets we've had at the ground so far. Dane Pitts joined me. Dane, what have you taken? What have you enjoyed your experience here in the bucket?
Yeah, I've chatted to some of the national winners from Joburg, which was quite cool the way he won the competition. Unbelievable experience. There's a young kid here from Saldanha who was one of the KFC boys as well, so it's quite a cool experience. I'm definitely enjoying the chicken and all the other burgers.
I thought you might be. What's your take on the surface? There's a bit of a worry coming in. How do you think it's played?
I think it's played beautifully. Shamsi stopped the game for the Proteas in the middle, but I was here yesterday doing an interview down there, and they were rolling the pitch quite a lot. So I suspected it to be a good one, and the wind normally dries it out here at Newlands, which will make the ball come on a bit better.
South Africa can chase whatever.
100% with a young Quinton de Kock, they can chase whatever they want to.
And the other thing is, Dane was saying he should have played two spinners. Of course he thought we should have played two spinners.
Not
Back
me.
to you, boys.
Well, I hope you wouldn't expect him to say anything else, those two, about what would be chased on here. He'll be happier, no doubt, now with the score 125 for 2 and things having slowed down. The run rate has dipped below 10. So it's South Africa in this little phase. I'll call it 4, 5, maybe 6 overs that have controlled things. It's Rabada now into the attack.
Just a single to the extra cover fence, but it is so important in these situations to read the game well. I spoke about it, speed wobble. It often happens. Teams are going at 10, 11, 12 and they think they need to cope, but sometimes in these conditions you need to understand you actually need to slow down, and that's the way the game needs to be played. It maybe isn't about boundaries. The problem South Africa has, that you have to have a good start when you chase a big number on a surface like this, and I'm not so sure about how good a surface is going to be. I still see the ball holding up. Even that one just held up a little bit from Regisa Rabada, so it's going to be tough batting second with a big number.
And already we can say that the number is going to be big relative to what we get here in Cape Town. At the rate they're going now, they'll get 187. That's a lot of runs. It's a lot of runs to try and chase down in 20 overs in Cape Town. You heard Sean Pollock and Dane Pete saying, well, South Africa will chase down anything on here. They have to believe that. Nearly. Good running. It's going to be important here as they try to rebuild Australia, to get the running between the wickets going.
And that's the way you put it together. That's the way you put 10 together in these situations when the wicket isn't coming on perhaps as you'd like it. What Quinton de Kock is backing is that by bowling first, that the wicket actually gets better. And what he's going to have to do is have a good start, because otherwise it's going to be really tough to be chasing 11s and 12s the back end of an innings.
There he goes, Mitchell Marsh with some power. 6.
A better way to get your innings going. Mitchell Marsh walked out there. He's a big hitter, certainly is. But that's just something he's always been good at. Back of a length, he's able to get underneath it. And allows him to put that one in the crowd. And certainly when you're in the T20 game and you've come in this situation and you want to score quickly, there's no better way than to put a 6 in on the scoreboard early.
Hey, perhaps that breaks the shackles as well. They've been trying just to get themselves going, Australia, and not going so well. Decides to go full, control things, control the direction of the ball. 10 off that one. It's 135 for 2.
He really was brilliant. He's a man that plays all around the field, and we know about his power. We know about his ability to hit the ball to the boundary, be it 4s or be it 6s. But what he also did exceptionally well was run between the wickets. He put his batting partner under pressure. Him and Aaron Finch ran well. They put the fielders under pressure, and if he got the ball wrong, and that often was the case, on the ground for 4s or 6s. He was an exceptional play in these conditions, and the ball's in his area. He knows how to deal with it.
You say when the ball is in his area, Eric. The problem is his area is quite big. Look at that, all round the park he gets the runs.
And that's exactly why I say when you sit in a bowling meeting and you're playing against David Warner, the conversation is a long one, because he can score in a lot of areas. And so you've got to be quite patient with him. You've got to understand that he can score in a lot of areas, but you've got to sometimes choose one and stay there, not allow him to dictate tactics.
Pretorius back into the attack. Big part of the game. Just like in Port Elizabeth for South Africa, this must be a new part of the game. We're into the death now. There's 6 overs to go. And they've got to forget about the start where they got things horribly wrong and disappear to all parts and try and win this last phase. because if they don't, well, they'll be chasing plenty.
I think one of the important parts about bowling in these phases is to ask the right question, and what the bowler needs to ask himself is, where's my single? 2 singles in a row, and this is the kind of thing that builds pressure in these moments. You go for less than 10, less than 9, because you bowled them really good balls into areas that your fielders are. You bowl to your funnel. You've created a funnel on the leg side to the left-hander, and you bowl to your funnel as it is, where your fielders are on the fence. You create ones, and that's what builds pressure. So that's the question the bowler needs to ask himself: where is my single, and how do I bowl to it? Be it myself as a bowler, or be it the batter I'm up against. And that's important. Bowl to your fielders on the boundary. And if you don't get dots, make sure it's just one.
Bowling, no pace. Slower delivery, and any pace you give to Mitchell Marsh, he'll be happy with. Fine leg and third man up in the circle. It suggests that he'll be quite straight. It suggests that he'll also not be putting any pace on the ball.
He's got man back. 5 back or square leg, mid wicket, mid on, mid off, long off, and then on the extra cover fence.
Oh, harsh umpire Bongani Jele. They're saying nah, despite him moving that way. Look at this, he goes across, and whilst he's across there, he's gone, that's wide. If you're standing there, that hits you on the hip.
The problem is, Tommy, that there isn't a definitive rule on this, and it's interpretation, which is something I do find frustrating. They need to absolutely clarify that rule.
Yeah, good bowling. All very good bowling.
Every time you see a single now, it's a win for South Africa. If they keep this down to under 9 and over, it's going to apply pressure. They're thinking boundaries to the batsmen. That's what they've been sent out to do, and every time they don't get one, they feel the pressure coming from the dugout.
Yeah, excellent work. Since the 10th over, there's just been the one boundary, and that's the 6th that Mitchell Marsh hit. So it's a good phase for South Africa. Oh, that's nearly gone onto the stumps. Oh dear. And he's nearly set off running as well. Pandemonium at Newlands. In the end, dot.
And another good over. Got to finish this one well now. Just the 3 singles on the wide. Again, it just shows you, I think, lack of pace in the wicket. And I think the Australians have got to learn from this if they want to maximise the last 5 overs in South Africa when they bat. But it is absolute chaos. But sometimes happens in this game of T20 cricket.
Quinton de Kock, that's shocking. He wouldn't have got it in another set of goals. Couldn't finish the over off. Bang, out of there. 6. Gone for 10. It's 145 for 2. It could have been such a good over. He decided to go with a slow one again, but Wade was waiting. Actually, might not have been a slow one, just a normal pace delivery. Couldn't have missed a Yorker by that much, surely not. It's 6 anyway. Australia will take it any day. Top shot. Dropped in the crowd too. It's not one hand, one bounce, mate. No. 145 for 2. 5 overs to go. Just how many can Australia get? Mark and Sean to tell you about the rest.
That's slapped, that's dragged down the length, but he's going to get away with it. Just the single. You can see the variations that Ngiddi's used tonight.
Murmur of concern around Newlands. This will take some catching. De Kock with the gloves, it has to be. Oh, it's brilliant! Whoa! Sea cleared the way first, signalling to those charging in to get out of the way, which they did. Oh, that has gone up and almost come down with ice on it.
Yeah, you often see this at the ground when there's a bit of a stiff breeze operating around the stadium. At the last minute, fielders have to make a little bit of an adjustment. The concern while the ball in the air would have been about making sure no one interrupted the process for Quinton de Kock. We saw the Wanderers with Shamsi that got in his way. That time he screams loudly, but he almost forgot to get the hands back together and then had to launch himself forward. Anyway, it worked out just fine for Quinton de Kock. Third wicket goes down. Wade, 10 off 9 deliveries. Experiment descending before Smith, not really working. Australia now 146 for 3.
Here we go again. Sean Marsh is pounding this cricket. Oh, I say Sean Marsh, but if he was here, he would be. Mitchell Marsh is the one out there pounding it. That ball, I cannot tell you how quickly that ball's gone to the boundary. The fielders don't have a lot to do down there, and they have no chance.
So I think you'll be disappointed with it. When you pick up a wicket, you feel like you've got 2 or 3 balls where maybe you can build some pressure and try and get the batsman to think about what the next option is. That was a bit of a freebie, and boy oh boy did he hammer it.
I think the feeling amongst the South Africans would be don't pitch it up to Mitchell Marsh. So they want to bang it in and force him back. He's less good off the back foot than he's off the front foot. This is another look at the catch. See, de Kock's got to Pretorius. There was somebody else there out of the way. And always harder when they come up high and then down, sort of almost straight down underneath you, or on top of you, I should say. That's good grab from South Africa's captain. Out! Whoa! That's important. Going to be reviewed. Marsh is convinced that sliding down the leg side.
He turned to Steve Smith, and Steve Smith indicated no, going down the leg side, send it upstairs, and he didn't even hesitate, did Mitchell Marsh. It's always going to be a tight one. He does, at this stage of the innings, walk onto the off stump almost to try and prevent the wide Yorkers and make sure the bowler has to bowl in the slot.
Yeah, he sort of has to have done that, I think, for it to be hitting middle and leg, because if he stayed where he started, you would imagine the angles would mean he could be missing. It's hit him on the full toss, of course.
Given out, so it has to be missing completely. Is it going to be umpire's call, or is it going to be sliding down the leg side? And where Steve Smith was standing, he believes it's missing. And you can see that right foot's on off stump. Yeah, I think that could just be missing. If it is, it's just a faint tip on the leg stump.
I think it's maybe missing full stop, actually. But it is very full. The nearer the ball is to the stumps when it pitches, or in this case doesn't pitch, if that makes any sense. I hope you know what I mean. The more likely it is to be out. Missing.
Yeah, good review on the angle, missing comfortably in the end. The funny thing is that the laws as they stand, no single for that delivery. It's a dot ball. Even though it hit the pad, went down to fine leg, they crossed over comfortably. Because he was given out and it's reviewed and overturned, what happened after the decision was made means the ball's dead ball, no run.
It's a subject of great controversy. Imagine that with a single needed to win the World Cup final. 1 for 3. I actually think it's a reasonable interpretation because by definition with the appeal everybody stops to wait for the answer. And given in that case the appeal goes on through the decision review, well, you can understand why it's been decided as it has. This is Aaron Finch playing an array of strokes around the ground. He came out with almost ferocious intent, I'd call it, against the new ball, determined to take advantage of the power play, the first 6 overs, which he did quite brilliantly, you have to add. Very strong man who hits it big distances. 55 he made in just 37 balls. Great opening partnership with David Warner. Cruel wide. Just too wide, I think. Sort of a round arm cutting slower ball.
Yeah, I think the fact that he's moved across means you don't call that a wide. You can look at where he starts as the delivery's bowled. He's probably 1.5 foot outside your stump. I think you've got to give the bowler a little bit of leeway when a batsman moves.
That might be right as well. I think so. This over hasn't started yet, and Pretorius thinks he's bowled 2 pretty clever balls to a batsman moving across the crease. They're 2 very difficult decisions for an umpire to make. You can argue both ways. I tend to think in favour of the bowler, but that, of course, isn't the way an umpire would think. Oh no, that's wide. That has to be. Oh.
We saw a lot of this at St George's Park, which once we discussed it with the players afterwards, said the surface was holding a bit and difficult to get away. I think that there's been lots of swinging and missing by the new batsman coming to crease in particular. That's the gents of the wicket. He's just holding up a bit, and the cutters are gripping nicely in the pitch.
I don't think they're gripping quite to the effect of St George's Park, though. Would you agree with that?
Yeah,
it seems to me you can still it through the ball.
Yeah, definitely, you can predict the pace better than they were able to do at St George's. Steve Smith, what's he going to get up to? Shifted down the order today. Didn't come in at number 3 or 4. Coming in at 5. He's an inventive batsman at times, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see a few unorthodox shots at the back end here.
That's great fielding. Speed of the ball, clean pick-up and release from David Miller. Left alone by Pretorius because he thought it might hit the stumps. Oh, should be caught. Yep, that's important. Mitchell Marsh is a mighty ball striker. Ray Shamsi, the man who clings on, much to the joy of this crowd who have got involved as the wickets have fallen.
There's a lot of belief in the T20 circuit that if you've got a big hitter, you want to try and keep it out of his eye line. Seen a few examples this over where Pretorius has tried to go as wide as he possibly can, bordering on the wide line and making sure that it's outside the line of Mitchell Marsh, who swung hard in that over. I think there's 4 examples of him going hard at the deliveries. Eventually he gets bat on ball, but it just pops up in the air. Well bowled Pretorius, 155 for 4, Marsh gone for 19.
Marsh climbs the stairs under the watchful eye of the security guards that go with the players these days. Already Alex Carey's out there, Smith's on strike, we're ready to go again. What a stop. Wow. That's why they come. That's why they flock in. That's why you sell out matches in T20 cricket. Everybody's involved, and believe me, if you can't field like that, you might not get in the team.
This is the man who had to go through a fitness test to get onto the field today. Heinrich Klaassen had a hip issue. I hope he hasn't done any damage there, but there's commitment. He stops the ball, the head hits the ground, the glasses go flying. Eventually grabs onto it again. Commitment and dedication.
Yeah, it's good to see Klaassen back in the side. Still no Temba Bavuma. I hope he makes it for the one-day games, though quite which batsman they leave out would be difficult to be sure. Carey wants 2, won't get it. South Africa inching their way back into this game. 159 for 4.
Have a look at the wicket again. Wide cutter. Swinging as hard as he possibly can. He was just thinking leg side. No adjustment to maybe whack it straight down the ground or over the offside. He wanted to drag it to the leg side, and the extra bounce from Pretorius with the slow delivery means it pops up in the air. Shamsi watches it nice and closely.
Well, actually, it's a replay that Mitchell Marsh will be interested in, because it's very similar to the way he got out in Port Elizabeth the other day, getting it wide and full, cutting it, taking the pace off it, and he throws everything at it. It's an attempt to stroke based on power, not timing. And he's got no control over the bat. This is where South Africa was so good in Port Elizabeth, and indeed in the games against England, actually.
Yeah, projected after, I think it was 5 overs, Australia were looking at 210, maybe even 220. The current rate, 188 is the score they'll post. 18 over 184, 10 over 189. So that'd be a good job of pulling things back for South Africa.
Still a lot of balls left, though. 16 now. 161. What would they settle for? 190, 185 probably they'd settle for.
Disappointed not to get somewhere near 195, 200.
I meant what would South Africa settle for? Sorry, not the Australians. No, I agree. The Australians will want more than that.
In South Africa, I think anything 180 would be fantastic.
Much harder to start. You come in when that ball's old and soft. The bowlers are feeling a bit better about themselves, having snaffled a couple of wickets. Got the radar right.
Yeah, I think Australia will be a little bit disappointed, though. Ngidi, we've seen his tendencies. Basically got the orthodox delivery and that off-cut the slow ball, which is bowled to brilliant effect. But at this stage of the series, you do think some of the batsmen might have worked out when it's coming and been able to make it pay. In a row, and one was missed, the other one just gets a little bit of baton. This is quality. 4 deliveries.
It's a reminder about how you've got to set your side up in T20 cricket, how different it is to bat, in the first 6, 7, 8, 9 overs as against the last 4 or 5, and you need people who can deal with both. They've moved Steve Smith around here. He would have batted higher, but they want to have another look at Wade and Marsh. A whole lot easier against the new ball when it's coming onto the bat, and you can hit through it with your strength, than it is when it's old, and you've got to have a bit more flexibility in those wrists.
5 from 5. What does Ngidi decide to do? He's bowled 2 slow balls in the last 2 deliveries to Smith. Is he thinking, well, he's predicting it's going to be another one? Do I change it up, or do I follow through on the same delivery?
That's a super over. 4 singles and a 2 at this stage is a right result. 165 for 4.
I thought that only happened if it was a tie. Super over.
seen a few this year. There were a couple in New Zealand in the recent New Zealand-India series, famously the World Cup final.
It's nice when you come in this, especially in this format. And there's a final, so someone wins, like a penalty shootout. You want to win it.
Yep. Very good stuff from Shamsi tonight. 4 overs, 8 dot balls, terrific. 1 for 25. Bowled him, Rabada, full and straight. Lovely.
Brilliant from Kagiso Rabada to come back into the attack and to nail a Yorker straight away is not easy. You want to check the front foot. Test match, Kagiso Rabada on this ground had a wicket taken away from him because of a no ball. He's hoping by all hopes that he's behind, and he's not. That's comfortably over. So that not only is not a wicket, Steve Smith will come back to the crease, and boy, oh boy, he's got himself a free hit.
It's the cruelest reversal. I know that it's a crime committed by a bowler, but boy, the penalty you pay for it. Got away without a boundary off the extra ball, or the free hit, I should say.
Yeah, it was a great delivery, but unfortunately you do have to stay behind the line. You normally tell KG's back foot never lands anywhere near that stump. He's always comfortably behind it, so I knew he was going to be struggling. The delivery was perfect. Actually got some bat on it.
Not many people who have bowled middle stump through their legs, are there? Nutmegged.
I think he got a bit of bat on it, and it went off the bottom edge onto the stumps. And there's the realization from the South African fans. They're not happy with KG. I think he knew, because he said that as a bowler you do know too. You know that you've stretched, you're aware of where the stumps are and where you're supposed to land, the proximity.
Look at the pain you cause people, KG. Oh, it's a little chipper. Dropped. Shelled it on the move at pace. Henrik Nokia never had any control over his body, no steady base from which to hold the catch. And once you're sliding with your knees in your hands, oh, what an over this is proving to be for Australia.
Tipping full toss, sometimes a difficult one to deal with, and all Carey can do is pop it onto the leg side. Almost did all the hard yards, did Nokia. Hit him in the wrong part of the hand.
Well, that's a pretty good comeback. He'll be worried about the front foot, but there's no signal from the umpire that there's a problem, so I think we can now say bowled him.
I'm surprised he's not going to go have a little check. He's just having a look at the umpire's direction. But you've seen two great deliveries from Rabada in this over. One, the Yorker, when you try and hit that area, hit it perfectly. And when you're hitting a slow ball, this is the length you want to hit, top of the stumps. And that gives it the best opportunity to grip on the surface and deceive the batsman. Brilliantly bowled. Just makes contact with those zing bails. And eventually, South Africa, after a few opportunities, get their wicket in the over. 171 for 5.
Ashton Agar, the new batsman, on strike to Rabada. .172 on the board, 7 balls remain, a score that threatened to be 200. Has been controlled in the latter stages of the innings by this brilliant use of the various slower balls.
Did you see Quinny's reaction as he took that ball? As if to say, eventually. Yeah, but that's the length. Great length.
Smith has got himself a strike for the final over of the innings. It's 173 for 5. That is a revealing graphic, Sean.
Yeah, plenty of big overs up front, but nothing above 10 from the 10th over on. Just shows us South Africa. And look at all the wickets at the bottom, 5 of them to fall.
Well, this might be 6. Yep. The way to feel that eased across there, you thought, well, he's just eyeing this up. But Steve Smith has got a lot of it with that free swing of his bat.
Been a lot of mistimed shots at the back end of this innings because of the nature of the surface and the game plans, but that one not mistimed at all. It was a slow delivery, but too full. And easy for Smith just to swing those arms. He still wouldn't have been convinced. I don't think it was anywhere out of exactly the middle, but comfortably over.
Now the heat's right on Nortje here, bowling at one of the world's great players. Now that could be caught by somebody. There's a lot of ground to cover. No. Wasn't sure at first about Faf du Plessis from mid-on. And I'm not sure that Klassen was quite full pelt in the early stages of his approach to that ball. Difficult.
I thought he could have taken another step or half a step. I think he dived a little bit too early. Captain's watching, wishing that it goes into the hands. See, I think he launched himself just a touch too early.
Outrageous. And safe too. Smith is one of the great improvisers for all his excellence in Test match cricket, his consistency, his powers of concentration. Almost miraculous to see some of the improvised shots that he plays. This is another look at Klassen. Tumbling. Oh, dream shot. That is the stroke of the innings. Don't worry about that. You can watch a lot of cricket and never see anybody hit the ball like that over. Well, never mind extra cover, squarish cover. Extraordinary timing.
That's the brilliant shot. 143 kilometers an hour, and that's a stance that Steve Smith's not uncomfortable taking. And the contact, brilliant. The pace on the ball makes it easier, yes. It takes nothing away from how good a shot that is.
Little game changer this innings from Steve Smith. Shows you the premium on not taking wickets when you bowl no balls. He's 28 now from 14 balls, and his last over is a game changer. So far 6-2-2, 6-2. There's still 1 ball left.
They shifted him down the order. They wanted other people that felt were better suited to scoring the quicker runs. He's shown them.
Yes, I think it's quite a clever move by the Australians if they're thinking of it permanently because of his flexibility. I don't suppose they will think of it permanently because they want him at the crease for as long as they can. But Smith has played quite brilliantly there. And that is the assault that we've been waiting for, and it does take the score past 190.
At 196, I think it was, at the Wanderers. This is the last delivery, well run to come back for 2. South Africa win the toss. They put them into bat, Australia, and the opening pair were dynamic. 120 of 11.3 overs. And South Africa did a good job of putting things back, picking up 5 wickets. As Mark mentioned, the last over of 20 would just say things definitely swung in the favour of Australia. 193, a good score on a surface. It looks like it's holding a bit once that ball gets on.
Yeah, well, in the last 10, 79 came, and at one stage it really looked as if 65 would come. So that is brilliant from Smith. 48 off the last 5, and a real challenge for those batsmen who leave the field now, the big hitters, Cuss and Miller. He's a vastly experienced start by Quinton de Kock will be crucial too. So much to look forward to in pursuit of 194 to win the game on, well, it was a beautiful night in Cape Town. The clouds have closed in a bit, the wind's picked up, it's forecast to be 41 k's of wind tomorrow. So I think it's arrived a little early. There it is, 57 Warner and 55 Finch. Brilliant at the top of the order against the new ball. It was, as I said earlier, a ferocious assault on the new ball in the first 6 overs, that power play. And then Smith at the end making something of all those slower balls that the Australians confused, or had been confused by, in the middle order. Great partnership, 120 and 74 balls. Come in, Stark, Richardson, Zampa, all the bowlers didn't make it to the wicket.
Bowling-wise, there's no doubt Shamsi was the performer for South Africa in the middle overs. 4 overs, 1 for 25, superb. Victorious and Nevada, same figures, 1 for 42. Northfield took some tap, 20 in his last over. And Ngidi, 4 overs, 1 for 33.
So, there we go. South Africa need 194 to win not just the match, but to take the series. 1-1 after victories for Australia at the Wanderers and then South Africa at St George's Park. Almost 10 and over needed to win it and to take the glory tonight. We'll be back with you here at Newlands in just a moment.
Gotcha. Boys, we're on.
Nice.
Let's do this.
I'm on my way. Where are we going, Mel?
Home, James.
Who is it, honey? Everybody.
The sport you love, all in one place. Yours.
Stay.
Iron Jack.
Water first. Iron Jack. Thirst crushing refreshment.
It was this photo that she put up of me online. And I sort of like, why didn't you tell me I was losing my hair?
I thought he knew.
Reached your turning point? The doctors at Ashley & Martin could help regrow your hair.
Always make a good impression.
Connecting Bluetooth.
Or just be yourself. Change the rules. The new look Toyota CHR. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
ICC Women's T20 World Cup. February 21 to March 8. Adults from $20, kids just $5. Get your tickets today at t20worldcup.com.
Always make a good impression.
Connecting Bluetooth.
Or just be yourself. Change the rules. The new look Toyota CHR. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
Someone's with Alinta Energy? Yeah, of course. Aren't you?
Yeah, especially with their great energy deals.
Either of you guys see my wicket-keeping
gloves? Get a great energy deal. Switch to Alinta Energy, supporting your home team.
Having the trusted brands gives the customer the confidence that they're going to get the end result they want when they complete their project.
You'll find the brands that you know and trust at warehouse prices.
4-litre Dulux Weather Shield, only $81.90. DeWalt 18-volt lawnmower kit, $799. Ryobi 18-volt hammer drill kit, $199. Earthwell insulation bats, just $72.
Where you find a competitor's lower price on the same stock item will beat it by 10%.
Bunnings Warehouse.
Shop at Bunnings wherever you are, whenever you want.
Toyota Camry. Defy expectation. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
Animation Domination. Sundays from 8:30 on Fox 8.
Welcome back, everybody. We're at Newlands. Much action on the field as some are warming up and so forth. But the important stat you must know is that 194 runs is what South Africa require if they're going to win this game. Tall order, yes. But we've seen how this 2020 game goes. You just never know. Yeah, look around the ground. But closer to me, there are a couple of gentlemen who've been watching with interest. Perhaps with interest more from a case of trying to work out how their muscles are going and whether they'd be able to do the things they're looking at on the field. Things they used to do a long time ago. Omar Henry is here, as is Brian McMillan. Omar, how are you? Nice to see you, first of all. You know, it's been some time.
Yes, I'm well, thank you. Can't complain.
You're looking well. You're looking well.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, what's happening? What's Omar Henry up to?
Watching cricket.
Yeah, a lot of it.
But coaching cricket.
Yeah.
And talk cricket.
Yeah.
And play golf.
And play a lot of golf. I'm pretty sure it's a lot of golf. Look, Mac, what about you? How are you?
I'm fine, thanks, Bum. Not too bad at the moment. Quite relaxed at the moment and looking forward to outside knocking those runs off.
Yeah, you went straight there. You went straight there, knocking those off. 194 is a lot to get on here. Let's start at the beginning, I guess, and what you thought of the bashing right up at the front from Finch and Warner, the way that they went at the front of the game.
Yeah, I think it went over at a hell of a pace, I've got to be honest, and I suppose looking at 220, 240 down the line, but I think the bowlers brought it back quite nicely, which is great. It's now up to the batters, and yeah, just smash it off and walk home and have a beer or two.
The Veterans League, I'm going to throw this in there whilst we watch these guys and how they win. It's kind of the way you guys would play now, right? Not a whole lot of running involved. Just make sure you're clearing the boundaries.
Well, I've got to be honest, in my days it was a nudge and graft for 1 or 2 runs. I mean, I remember the 92 World Cup, we used to try and defend 160, 170, 180 runs. Ohms, you could help me, right? And the blokes are getting that in 20 over cricket, which is crazy. But yeah, I think we enjoyed it. The bats look quite good. The ball seems to travel a bit further, and maybe the blokes done a little bit more gym than we did in our day. But it looks fun, it looks exciting, it's fantastic, it's great for the crowds, great for the youngsters, brilliant.
Now, in a side that's preparing, and both these sides are preparing for a World Cup, and that's in October, and it's going to be in Australia. I know you previously were convener of selectors. Talk about South Africa a little bit, because you've been watching them a whole lot, and what you see in terms of this preparation and how the side's sort of coming together.
Well, it's very interesting. I possibly, 2 months ago, I was very much concerned. And I felt for the new regime, the management staff, but I backed them. I think they've got the experience, and they can assist these players to give them confidence, self-belief. That is what they need, and it's beginning to show. They've still got time to really give the players the opportunity to grow and to get to the top form, so that at the end of the day they can take the right squad to the World Cup. And you can see the previous game how competitive they can become, and I think tonight might not be different either. They could take it right to the end, and for me to now, it's anyone's game.
I talk Yorkers and bowling, and I know you probably don't bowl. Do you? When you play this Veterans League, do you bowl a lot, or are you just a batter now?
Palmer, I've got to be honest.
Are you just a batter? You're
20 years ago, they're trying to get me on the field, and 20 years later, they're not going to get me on the field, I can tell you that now. But happy to watch it, have a beer too, and a glass of wine, which is fantastic. I can tell you right now, I think I'd rather be in the pub watching the game than watching the boys on the field, because they're moving very, very, very lackadaisical.
Okay, yeah, I want to talk about the bowling, and you've got to wind the clock back here and kind of trying to formulate some strategy against guys who are smashing the ball out the ground, as it happens now. And as you watch it, the difficulty of that in sort of trying to wind the clock back and trying to kind of fit yourself into what happens today.
It's been a long afternoon to answer this question. But, you know, the only real benefit I can see playing 2020 is bowling 4 overs. And then you're walking off the field as opposed to 10 overs or a lot more in test match cricket. I've always said that 2 slow balls, 2 bounces and 2 length balls will get away with it. But I think the blokes have cottoned onto it quite nicely. And the only way out obviously is a slow delivery. But I suppose there's no substitute for the Yorker, and probably if there's any criticism, maybe we're not bowling enough of those. You bowl length or anything slow, the batters are pretty quick on picking their length up and that type of thing and smashing it out the park. Difficult to smash a Yorker. I suppose there's a ramp, but you know, I sit back and watch people think about the days when we played. To try and ramp Sylvester Clarke or Michael Holding or Marshall would be quite challenging. So I think the blokes have got lots of heart at the moment. You know, it's difficult. I think the game's really improved. The bowlers, I suppose, to bowl six Yorkers is going to be difficult. But yeah, it's a batter's game at the moment. Boundaries are in, wickets are flat, bigger bats. Good luck to bowlers.
You sound like a bowler. You do sound like a complaining bowler.
He didn't love bowling at all.
I'll tell you something for nothing. If I play this game now, I think I'll be taking the new ball up front and then maybe bunting 1 or 2 overs and walking off. I think that would be it. Standard cover if I could, preferably. The blokes taking the catches on the boundary is ridiculous. I mean, what they can achieve nowadays. The hands are fantastic. Agility is fantastic. The game has really moved on. Brilliant.
Okay. Over 50s. I want to talk about the over 50s World Cup. Final's going to be right here. That'd be fantastic, won't it? And got to get the word out as well so that people actually come and watch. Tell us a bit more about that now, and Mac will tell us about playing in the league and so forth. Holmes?
Well, for me, it's I was saying to them that I was fortunate when I retired. South Africa sent an over 45 team to India against the first Indian team that won the World Cup. And we played a 3-match series where Raisi, Pollock, Saeed Majid, Babu Ibrahim, Vince van der Bijl, Barry Richards, all those guys played. And I had sort of thought, you know, these guys are old. But the competitiveness and the will to win and compete, it was absolutely brilliant. And I think this idea, it's a fantastic idea. And I would like to see this going on every 2 years. It's something that I think the crowd would love it. The current players would love it. Because there's an enormous amount of experience.
Apart from that, the camaraderie of everybody, because you meet those who you might have played with and against in times past. Mac?
Yeah, I think it'll be fantastic. I think that's really what sport's about. Quietly afterwards in the change room and reminisce about strategies and obviously encounters on the field. Talking about early on as well, it'd be great to see Shane Warne, but I don't think he's over 50 yet. And I think I've got the AK-47 in the cupboard, as what he called it. But it'd be fantastic to have him here, and just reminisce about those days. AB, I don't know if he's here, but I mean, he was hiding in the corner when I walked in with the 9mm as opposed to AK-47.
That's a story for another day. All the best during that over 50s World Cup, and I guess all the best to the South Africans as they try to chase this down. because it's a big total. Brian McMillan, Omar Henry, thank you very much for your thoughts. As I say, I hope the bodies are okay after...
we look okay, Paul.
No, after playing 20 overs of cricket. They certainly will need to be okay. The Over 50s World Cup will be here in Cape Town. The chase comes up just now.
Always make a good impression.
Connecting Bluetooth.
Or just be yourself. Change the rules. The new look Toyota CHR. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
Customers do get great value when they walk in the door. Value for money is important to customers and they want good quality and the right price. And you can get that at Bunnings.
5 litre Cabot's Aquadeck Ready Bucket, only $89. Ryobi 18-volt lawnmower kit, $399. Karcher window vacuum, $119. 2-piece barbecue tool set, just $29.95.
Where you find a competitor's lower price on the same stock datum will beat it by 10%. Shop at Bunnings wherever you are, whenever you want.
I was on the servo and I saw on the CCTV screen the balding bloke with the same jacket as me. But when I turned around, there was nobody there. And that was it.
Reached your turning point? The doctors at Ashley & Martin could help regrow your hair.
Always make a good impression.
Connecting Bluetooth.
Or just be yourself. Change the rules. The new look Toyota CHR. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
ICC Women's T20 World Cup. February 21 to March 8. Adults from $20. Kids just $5. Get your tickets today at T20worldcup.com.
Stay.
Iron Jack.
Water first. Iron Jack. Thirst crushing refreshment.
Well, you're obviously with Alinta Energy.
Yeah, of course. Especially with their great energy deal.
Shall we test them out?
Turn it off, mate.
Join over 1 million Australians. Switch to Alinta Energy, supporting your home team.
Always make a good impression.
Connecting Bluetooth.
Or just be yourself. Change the rules. The new look Toyota CHR. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
Welcome back to Newlands, where we have seen plenty of action so far. That is the story. South Africa require 194 runs. They've got to go at just a shade under the 10 mark. The most important thing about this is they need to get a good start. Now, we saw some spectacular batting from Australia. However, South Africa, after 10 overs, really bowled nicely. Got some wickets, and we'll talk more about that shortly. But alongside me is JP Duvernay to get his views. JP, what are your thoughts right now?
Yeah, I think from an Australian point of view, they'll be looking at 194 and feeling like that is a very, very competitive total. South Africa, well, with the start that they had in the first 10 overs, they'll be pretty happy with restricting him to 194. As we look at Quinton de Kock, he's been phenomenal in the T20 game, averaging a shade over 32. Good strike rate, good healthy strike rate. So we're in for a cracker of a chase here.
Yeah, his form has been unbelievable, Quinton de Kock. Throughout the entire summer, Rassie van der Dussen has been elevated to the opening berth. He doesn't mind that at all. Had an interview with him yesterday, which you'll see on Supersport shortly, where he was talking about the fact that he's living a dream. Rassie van der Dussen, that's what it means to him at the moment, to be able to represent South Africa. But they're up against this guy, who with a new ball is very dangerous because he swings the new ball. One of the few guys that swing the white ball these days. For those who watched the game at the Wanderers, you'll remember that magnificent delivery ball to get rid of Quinton de Kock very early, so that certainly puts South Africa on the back foot there. It is a class act, and someone that South Africa, one, will have to make sure they don't get out to, but two, score runs off as well. Righto, 194 to win. The surface is good. Oh, it's a beautiful shot to start with. Good fielding in the covers. That was going to scream to the boundary. Solid from de Kock.
Yeah, good cricket all round there. Good shot to start off for Quinton de Kock. And, excellent bit of fielding. That's what you want from a fielding side, to back your bowlers up. And, yeah, it's going to be an interesting start here for South Africa with this partnership. Pretty new, these two, in terms of top of the order.
There's a bit of a live wire in the covers. Matthew Wade, of course, he normally does the keeping duties for his state side in Australia. Van der Dussen on strike now. It's hitting the bat quite hard, so both off the mark. Now, just a breakdown of the score. After 10 overs, Australia were 114 for none, which was quite extraordinary. Then the next 5 overs, overs 10 to 15, South Africa got right back in the game. They only scored 31 runs in that block of 5 overs. So that was brilliant work. They picked up a couple of wickets as well. And then in the last 5, they scored only 48 runs. They came back a little bit, so that's not a bad effort going at 10s. But they also lost 3 wickets. So it's a really good performance by South Africa after a screamer. That's a screamer. That is magnificent from Quinton de Kock.
Yeah, it's been a feature of his game when he's in top draw song. There's Quinton de Kock, who accesses that onside pretty well. We've seen this throughout the summer, in accessing that mid-on phase. Not a lot of foot movement, but what timing by the skipper of South Africa.
And I think the key also there is he's playing down the ground. Certainly not a half volley by any means, it's a strong punch down the ground. Bowled him! That is magnificent stuff from Mitchell Starc. That's what he's asked to do by the captain. He's done it again. It's a big wicket.
Well, we've spoken about the fact that he gets a little bit of shape up front. Well, this one didn't shape at all. Just played around it, did Quinton de Kock. Slightly angled bat looking towards the leg side. And sees the middle stump tumbling back. So a great start for Australia.
Yeah, brilliant from Starc. De Kock looks at that again. He'll think he played or looked to play it a little bit on the leg side, a bit too square. He's gone for 5. It's a big blow. 6 for 1. See by that little practice shot from de Kock as he walks away. Just again looking to play down the line, which we were complimenting the ball before. Faf du Plessis now striding out. Very experienced in the T20 game. You've seen a lot of him, JP. A fine player in this format.
Yeah, he certainly is. And those numbers suggest that for sure. One of the best T20 players around for South Africa. And today is definitely a day where his team needs him. Doesn't have the armband, but a big performance is definitely needed from Faf du Plessis.
The plans shouldn't alter too much. It's one of the top 3, maybe top 4. If a wicket goes earlier, they've got to go a long way through the innings. That's down the leg side. No wide called.
Yeah, just having a look at the wicket. Played all around it, did Quinton de Kock. And stayed a little bit leg side there. Yeah, he sort of practiced that shot as he was walking off. Definitely needing to look a little bit straighter there.
See that clunk of that stump. Oh, that's quick. That's quick and it's quite vicious. Hitting the gloves of Faf du Plessis. He gets off the mark. 7 for 1. So we've seen de Kock be bowled by Stark at Newlands. This was at Wanderers. Middle stump out of the ground. And again. So Heinrich Klaassen is fit again. Due to come in next, and David Miller, who South Africa need to see some runs actually from David Miller. He hasn't got going of late. Van Biljon is in the lineup as well. And then Pretorius, it falls away a little bit after that. But there's certainly some work to be done by the guys right at the top now. Can't always rely on Quinton de Kock. Cummins. Looking for 2, good running, good awareness from du Plessis.
Yeah, the running is definitely going to be a feature of these two good runners between the wickets. Pat Cummins has been stalwart for them in the white ball stuff, and particularly in the T20 format. 28 matches, 35 wickets. Great economy rate, just under the tick of 7.
That really is very special in this format. So what are your thoughts, JP? How should South Africa be thinking about this, what ended up being a big chase?
Yeah, it's no secret that the power play is going to become so important, particularly in this chase, and they would have spoken about how they need to try and maximize their power play, even if it means they lose 2 or 3 wickets, make sure we're up with the run rate. If need be, we can consolidate through the middle period, but making sure that you don't leave it too far in the end. It's always a tough one chasing around the 200 mark.
Slow ball that time from Cummins.
So these two are of utmost importance for giving them a nice platform. Partnerships are key. But you can't just drag it out to the end. You've got to make sure that you make a statement, particularly in this power play, around that 50-60 mark. So they'll be targeting certain players and bowlers that we want to try and score. And it's been a phenomenal start from that first over from Mitchell Stark. Can they dominate here from the Cummins end?
Just a little bit of perspective as well. The average score batting first in T20 games throughout the summer here at Newlands has been in the 175 mark. So 193 is some distance past that. It's probably a couple of very good overs. But they do have an opportunity if they start well, and I think the point you made is very clear. When you're chasing a target like this, you cannot afford to get behind the rate. You've got to make sure you stay with them the whole time, and with those 2 men outside the circle only. For example, with Cummins in operation now, there's a sweeper on the offside and a sweeper on the leg side. Faf is just checking the leg side sweeper right now. There's the sweeper on the leg side, just the right of screen, and just to the left of screen is the sweeper on the offside.
It was interesting, even in the first over, Mitchell Stark bowling his first ball to Faf du Plessis, and they took out the slip already. So Aaron Finch has identified what the surface is. We've seen quite a few slow balls already in this power play, and they've identified that's going to be the key, the change of pace, maybe the surprise Yorker at times, particularly in this power play. It's kind of taking the batters by surprise.
It's going to bring the sweeper into play, just the single, so that's tidy enough from Cummins. 6 from it, 13 for 1. just confirmation of the maximum of 2 fielders only allowed outside that 30-yard circle in the Paré power play, which is overs 1-6. Dane's man again racing in, trying to work that away on the onside. Just to continue that discussion about the track, I had a bit of a chat yesterday to the head groundsman here, Hitcham Adams, and he was saying that the track has been slower this year for the Test series and also the one days than it normally is, and you remember the last couple of years it's gone through quickly. And he was telling me that the excavation here at the ground brought up a lot of clay, obviously the excavation when they dig down, and a lot of dust, because he couldn't get on the ground for 2 months, months of May and June. But a lot of dust on the surface. Wide. That's going to be a wide. That was not just on the pits, by the way, it was also throughout the entire ground, so he had to handle that when he eventually came back and was allowed to get on the ground. But by then all the dust had settled, so therefore the pitch area, the square, is more abrasive now, and that's why it's been a little bit on the slower side. And when I say slow, it's certainly not slow. It's certainly got some good pace in it, but it's a little bit slower than we normally see at Wanderers. And I guess it's missing that tennis ball bounce we tend to see. So it's a good track, don't get me wrong. Down the ground, that's a very good shot indeed. Strong, 4 runs, nicely played by Van der Dussen.
Yeah, stamping his mark here, Rassie Van der Dussen. And Mitchell Starc has bounced with real pace here. And cross seam on that occasion. Just throws his hands through the ball. Finds the gap just over his head.
It's 146 k's per hour, that delivery. A strong shot back past the bowler. Short, hammered that away as well. 1 bounce and that's gone for 4. That's good stuff from Rassie Van der Dussen.
Yeah, great bit of momentum here for Rassie in this 3rd over. It's been a subdued start for South Africa, but they've picked it up nicely. Short and wide from Mitchell Starc. And Rassie up to the task, stands tall. And just flays his hand at it, goes the aerial route. What a shot by Rassie Van der Dussen.
And just a couple of blows like that has got the run rate up very close to 9 and over. It's nicely bowled by Starc. Good comeback from the big left armour.
Yeah, we've been speaking about the feature of this power play thus far. We've seen quite a bit of slow balls, particularly from Cummins. And on this occasion, back-to-back boundaries from Rassie Van der Dussen, and goes immediately to the change-up. Does Mitchell Starc. So a good bit of thinking by Mitch to identify the strengths from a bowling perspective on this wicket.
Oh, it's a bit wide. He's had to reach for that. It might be out. Oh, it's a very good catch in the end. He was not in position at all. Really messed that up, but then had to move very sharply to his left and took a fine catch, Adam Zampa.
Yeah, a bit of wins to contend with there, Zampa. And in the end, does the job. Subdued delivery from Mitchell Starc, very wide, just throws his hands at it, does Faf du Plessis. He'll be very disappointed with that. A bit of a gift of a delivery, but unfortunately missing out on that occasion.
Yeah, that expression tells the story, but a very good catch by Zampa. And Starc is in the game again. Du Plessis gone for 5, 23 for 2.
Faf du Plessis just reaching out, and he'll walk away feeling very unhappy with himself there. Faf du Plessis missed out on a gift, unfortunately. Sees the back of him. South Africa in a bit of trouble now. 23 for 2.
Would have been a wide, that one, if he'd let it go through. Reach for it, and so did Zampa. It's a really good effort from Zampa. Heinrich Klaasen. For those of you who were with us a couple of games ago, you'll realise that he injured himself literally 5 minutes before the toss, did his hip. Passed a fitness test earlier today. Back in the lineup now with a job to do, with a big job to do. He's going to have to bowl that one again. So 11 runs off this over, but the important wicket of Faf du Plessis, who's a key player in the South African lineup, particularly when de Kock goes early. It's past the outside edge. 24 for 2.
Yeah, the wicket of Faf du Plessis, definitely going past that wide line. So not his best delivery. When things are going for you, they go for you. And pretty decent catch from Adam Zampa as well. He illustrates there a little bit of shape on the ball, bit of wind up in the air here at Newlands. So 24 for 2 after 3. South Africa losing the wicket of captain Quinton de Kock. Good bit of bowling by Mitchell Stark. He's been phenomenal up at the order here.
Switch around, Kane Richardson now into the attack. Sweeper in the player. Richardson's one of those bowlers, bowls very direct. He's got good rhythm, he bowls in towards the right-hander batsman. Tries to cramp the right-hander. Has a good change of pace as well. The loss of these 2 wickets hasn't helped South Africa. That means quite simply they need to get a really good partnership going now, because Miller is listed to come in next. I wonder if Pite from Bouillon will come in next. Nicely bowled.
Yeah, you spoke about Richardson's change of pace, and that's been a feature of his T20 game for a number of years. On occasion just beating the bat, and made mention of how particularly this Australian bowling attack, a change of pace in the power play early on already.
What were you like at your time trials, JP, when you were playing?
I wouldn't say it was a feature of my my international career.
Kane Richardson's known as one of the fittest players in Australia. Not that long ago, ran a 2-kilometre time trial in 6 minutes 39 seconds. That's some going. Oh, he's clubbed that. That is a beautiful shot. Magnificent stuff.
Now, what a statement here by Henrik Klaasen. Dropped slightly short. I think it could have been the slow ball once again. And grew up in the Highveld. That's been a feature shot of his game, Henrik Klaasen. Front foot pull. And welcome maximum for South Africa, 91 metres.
That is a huge hit. That's going to put a bowler on the back foot, doesn't matter who you are. He's a strong lad, Henrik Klaasen. Not a bad way to get off the mark. Trying to construct an innings, I suppose you could say. Chopping that one away to the sweeper on the offside.
It's definitely a strength of Henrik Klaasen, identifying that ball pretty early and offs on it with intent. Does Henrik Klaasen, short of a length, extends the arms beautifully. And these bats of today, that's going to go all the way.
We have seen some quite remarkable shots today. That shot over cover The last over from Stephen Smith was magnificent. That shot from Klaassen was brilliant. 1 or 2 from David Warner also earlier. Ball needs a bit of a haircut. Eight runs from the over. Last ball coming up. Bottom edge. No run off the last. 32 for 2.
So South Africa building a little bit of momentum in the last 2 overs. Comparisons there. Australia were unbelievable in that power play. What an opening partnership by Warner and Finch. So 32 for 2 after 4. The last 2 overs for South Africa have been a bit of momentum. So hopefully they can continue on their way. So Australia, Mitchell Stark, sorry, Cummins to continue. His first over just going for 6 runs.
So you've got to be ready these days as a bowler. Switching ends now, Cummins, and the first ball goes away for 4. Good stuff from Heinrich Klaassen.
So Australia having the sweeper out on the offside, which means third man is up in the circle. That's a little late cut by Heinrich Klaassen. And tried to overhit it. Cross seam from Pat Cummins. Just works it away nicely on the offside.
Right, so they need a really good over. South Africa, can they turn this one into a good one? Nicely worked on the onside. So that's 5 off a couple. Not too far off the pace. Problem is those 2 wickets have gone down, and I think a feature of the white ball games we've had all summer really have been some blistering opening stands. We've seen that in the T20 so far against Australia. We saw it earlier tonight. These two have got to play catch up.
We spoke a little bit in the first innings about how, particularly in the T20 game, things can turn so quickly. We spoke about wickets falling, changing the momentum of particularly the Australian batting innings. Look at it here now as well. Yes, they've lost 2 wickets. The run rate is just above the 9 mark, so they're not too far off. But again, it's about how can you keep this momentum going, and the partnership is going to develop that. 15 of 11 balls, can they continue?
Straight into the bowler. It's good work from Pat Cummins. This guy is some cricketer.
Yeah, he's a proper athlete, is Pat Cummins. The last 18 months for Australia has been phenomenal. Good bit of athleticism here by the young man. I think he's a young man. Certainly played against him a few times, and certainly doesn't make you feel like one for sure.
A bit of a bruise on his shin now. A bit slower that time, hammered into the covers. Well, these two are playing some fine shots. Heinrich Klaassen and Rassie van der Dussen. There's some really good connection. They're not phased by the ball. They're changed down of pace. That last one was 111 k's per hour from Cummins. It's not phasing. They're spotting them nice and early. So a single off the last means 9 off that over. 41 for 2. Well, the atmosphere out there is quite amazing. Some 16,000, 17,000 people in the venue cheering on South Africa, hoping they do well. In the commentary box now for the next 5 overs, Eric Simons and Pommy Mbangwa.
Thank you, Michael Donald, Hazeman. Thank you very much. Just stay in touch. That's what South Africa have to do, just stay in touch. Try and form some sort of partnership, get some sort of base. The rate required at the start of the chase was 9.7. It's now gone up above 10. There are the comparisons as well. 2 wickets down already, South Africa, and Australia hadn't lost a wicket and they had a lot of runs. It's in the period where they smashed it to all parts.
Big shot, but no reward for Rassie van der Dussen. I think the concern that we all have, we spoke at the break about the importance of South Africa's power play not just being a good one, but it has to be an exceptional one, because generally we'd be quite happy in the situation if we were tracing on a wicket that things would move along as they normally do, and 10, 11, 12 and over these days even not a problem, but it seems to get more difficult as the innings goes on. So losing wickets hasn't helped the cause.
Shot, beautifully played, short and wide, and he jabs at it. There's Rassie van der Dussen and gets 4.
Near the wicket, he really is good, and short and wide, plays it nice and late because there is a sweeper back, so he has to beat him. Lets the ball go right past him and then makes contact. Beats the sweeper on the point fence. Cross seam. Here's a sign that the bowlers think that's going to hold up in the wicket. Very good shot.
Shot again. This time he picks the man out. Less pace on that delivery.
And this one is hit in front of him. Not able to let it come in as he did with the first one, allowed to get past and then play it. So that's where the bowler wants to bowl. He wants to bowl to that field, and that's why he's taken the pace off. A lot of conversations taking place. This is the last over the power play, and it's been okay. It's been not bad. 50 odd and 6 would be sort of okay, but like we said, I think they needed a very good one.
Thinking 2, running well, getting back for the 2. Excellent stuff.
So often when you're in a mode of trying to get boundaries, trying to get as much as you can, you're thinking hit the ball hard, but so often the 2 is just in that little gap between the boundary riders and the man in the circle, and that's very well placed, and it's the placement that gives them the 2, and very comfortable in the end.
Oh, missed out. He's all right. 50's come up. Wade just slipping as he was about to throw that. Power play done. 50 for 2. That's the most important part of the power play. Beautiful delivery that knocks Quinton de Kock's stump out the ground, middle stump, and it sets South Africa back a long way. That's the 2nd wicket. Another important batsman dismissed, and that was du Plessis. Van der Dussen has gone to 20. Klaasen has continued with decent form. He's gone to 18. So after the first 6, power play, South Africa with a decent score on the board, but would have liked more because of what they gave up in that first 6 overs.
A very important phase of the game right now. Australia have 2 spinners, Ashan Agar He's got the hat-trick the other day, but him and Adam Zampa are going to play an important role. They've got 8 overs between them that Aaron Finch will be able to call on. A very important phase now.
And right from the onset, they've got to try and stamp the authority on the spinners. Can't afford to just let them bowl because they are 8 overs and the score you're chasing is 193. So rate already more than 10s. You've got to make the calculations, educated risks as to where you're going to go, when you're going to go as well, just so they can stay in touch. How many, and you've got to work it backwards, I guess. How many are you comfortable with right at the back end?
That's exactly what they have to do. Decide what they can chase in the last 2 or 3 overs.
Come on, Larry.
The problem is, ideally, they wouldn't want to be much more than 10 and a half, 11, and they're there already. So they can't afford to take the foot off the pedal. So I think this phase is going to be very important. Adam Zampa and Agar, 2 very good exponents of spin.
Oh, Larry!
Oh, don't miss that. Right in front there. As he works the ball onto the onside, Van der Dussen.
I think you'll see a lot of this from both of them, just bowling wicket to wicket. The South Africans make a play, just keep them under pressure.
Yeah, very good, very good.
You hear the call from the keeper, very good. And I think that's a clear indication of that's what the game plan is. Keep it through in the stumps. Can do something. Again, if their thinking is just the odd dot ball and run a ball, and pick up wickets, that'll be the belief, that'll be the tactic.
Oh, Larry!
Very undervalued. Stringing the bow over the spinner is his pace, the pace that he bowls at. Just a little bit quicker, keeping the batsman guessing.
Oh, Larry!
Yeah. Field it. Excellent work, Kane Richardson. Keeps it at just 1. And it's a fabulous over under the circumstances. Just 5. 55 for 2.
Caution, run across and look for something, and as always we talk about it, the bowler always needs his fielders to back him up, and here we have an example. Excellent fielding from a big man, and it's been a hallmark of T20 cricket in this team.
South Africa some way behind in this final KFC T20 International. Won the toss, decided to field first. Australia filled their boots in the first 6 overs. South Africa with the salvo really coming back in the game. It looked very much like it would be a minimum of about 220, perhaps even more, when Finch and Warner were going together. But the Cox men pulled things back. Shamsi bowling well, getting a wicket and slowing things down, and the rest showed up too in the second half of that bowling innings. Adam Zampa, the spinners in tandem then.
Exactly as one would expect it, and again 2 plan, wicket to wicket. He obviously has the option of bowling the odd variation.
Lovely bowling. Come on, lads. Come on, lads.
And bowled again. So important the length in this game as well. You can get away with a bad line if your length's good. And probably a little bit of width there, but because the length was good, bail height makes it that much more difficult. Really is going to be a tough phase this for South Africa if these 2 bowl well.
Pull him! Felt he had to do something. Heinrich Klaasen, and it's Zampa with the wicket.
Exactly that, just kept him under pressure, didn't give him anything. South Africa needs something desperately, and they can certainly celebrate. Changes around very early, but once again wicket to wicket. into the bails, and Zampa's a very happy man, as he should be. Well bowled. South Africa lose their third.
A good start, really straight, nothing given. Klaasen gone for 22. South Africa 57 for 3. Both spinners have been right at the stumps. Just bowl as straight as possible and ask them to try and work the ball from there, try and go cross bat and give themselves the best chance of getting wickets. It's worked that time.
Tough time to come to wicket. Really needing just 11s and over. And you're facing two world-class spinners. Both of them know that South Africa, when looking at boundaries, they'll be thinking like that. They'll give them nothing to play with. A big role for David Miller now. They need a partnership desperately.
Oh, lovely bowling. Go back. Come on, boys. Come on, Job.
Just get going, that's what they want. And I'll say again, for South Africa, it's about trying to stay in touch. And you work it backwards, see what you can get at the back end. What you can get really is dependent on if somebody gets in and can be in control of that last bit. Fabulous start by Adam Zampa. Just 2 runs and a wicket as well. 57 for 3.
What he's done, we'll see the wicket, but what he's done so well is given nothing away. Just bowled exactly as his captain has ordered, kept them under pressure, read the game exceptionally well, and that's led to the wicket. Certainly the pressure, reading the conditions, reading the situation extremely well.
Seen that before somewhere. Well bowled, isn't it? Yeah, just continue to look at the line here that these spinners are working. You can see that is the plan. Get as straight as possible. It's going for the ramp. They're trying to hit the ball from straight over a keeper's head. Having to resort to that.
Yeah, the 3 key components. The one is the line, which you've spoken about. The second is the length, very important. So he can't get it underneath and hit it back over his head. And the third is the pace. That bowl, a little bit of variations, bowl good pace as well. The change of pace. Line's still good. Important thing is bowling to his field. South Africa's going to have to work very, very hard. As you say, staying in touch has got to be the key. Decision around what can we score for the last 3 overs, but
come on, boys, come on, boys.
Get away too quickly.
And I think an important part of that is just don't lose too many wickets. So many teams with games such as these. Oh, he's got it! He's got it! What a catch! Brilliant work from Adam Zampa. Is it short, fine leg? And what he thinks is get the catch rather than stop it going for 4. So is it in at the ball straight away and pulls off a beauty.
Yeah, what Rassie van der Dussen does here is moves very early. Adam Zampa would have seen that. He's run to his left as quickly as he can. Dives, and as you say, good aggression in attitude, and takes a great catch. 2 spin partners combining to take South Africa's 4th wicket.
So the 2 in men are gone. Van der Dussen's gone for 24. South Africa now 59 for 4. Another look, and initially the steps are to the left, but they're important steps to the right when he realizes that the ball's not going to go past him. And he's done really well to run direct once he realizes that it's gone up and sufficiently up for him to get to it. Top catch. Big job for Pate van Biljon.
Catch it.
Every time they score a single, you can call it bowling to their plan. And there's been a lot of them in the last few overs. Those are Pate van Biljon's numbers. And his 20-over career, very strong leg-sided. That's one of the things Australia will know, and they'll exploit that as much as they can. When he looks for power, he certainly wants to go leg side and square the wicket.
Larry.
Right now he's got to deal with some spin.
Slip in.
Oh, nice start, Larry.
Yeah, I was just in the middle of saying that you don't want to lose wickets. So many teams find, even in games like these, that they lose a whole lot of wickets and then they kind of stop going for it and just play to the end. And when they get to the end, they think, well, do you know what? If we'd lost one less or two less, might still have been in touch. And so got to work it out perfectly in that regard, with who stays in, how they play, and to where they go. 62 for 4.
That's a very good point you make. I always say you don't get bowled out, you run out of batsmen, and that's a crucial point. And if the two of them stay at the wicket, you know, what can they chase? 15 in the last over? Let it drift out there, because that's the best shot you got now. And that's what partnership has to have, that sort of conversation. What can we chase? If we lose a wicket, that comes down. And that conversation is very important. Very good point you make.
And 5 down is too many batsmen gone, generally. So often you watch teams and think, well, you don't want to be trying to win the game in one over. No, it's an exaggeration of a statement. Nice shot. Yeah, good running. Late decision to get back for a second, but he's quick as David Miller.
The thing is too, as the game gets deeper, you're 2 or 3 down. No matter if you're behind the run rate, the bowling side is under a bit of pressure. They feel the pressure, whatever the situation is. When they're constantly getting wickets, they just keep in the game. They can bowl differently. They feel placings are more aggressive. They can now go to slip in, catching cover. That's all to do with the game plan, and they can bowl to their field like this. It keeps you under the pressure. But when you don't lose wickets, they've got to keep asking questions. They've got to keep manoeuvring their bowlers. What he'll just do now is bowl his 8 spin overs out unless South Africa make a play. But don't lose wickets. Make them make decisions. So the game changes. You've got to, you'll be sitting in the change room before the game, and you'll be talking about strategies. If you lose 4 wickets, the strategy's got to change. You've got to adapt accordingly. I think the point that you make is a very, very good one. That can be as a partnership score in the last over, and let's think about that and work towards that. Give yourself a chance. One of the great finishers in world cricket, MS Dhoni. That's basically his strategy. When he's at the crease, doesn't matter what you need, the bowler's under pressure, and it's part and parcel of his brand.
Yeah, and when partnerships get together on the leg side, the longer they stay together, the more likely they are to then wrest control of the game in some way, shape or form, because even if they end up sort of in a scenario where they're chasing 15s, if someone's got 50 or 60 and the other bloke's also got similar, even if you're chasing plenty, Straight through. Zampa again.
Yeah, this is the skill of the man. From our distance, looks like probably the googly. Right from Bullion, as I said, very strong leg side. Wants to turn this onto the leg side. Tries to close the face and through the gap. And Lambert picks up another one, but very simple game plan. He's just run up and bowl wicket to wicket. Little variations in the wrist, but he's had a good session in there out today. Two great catches in fact, and now two very good wickets. Pat van Bullion has to depart just the one run. South Africa in deeper trouble, 65 for 5.
Dwayne Pretorius, next man at the crease for South Africa, in a lot of trouble at 65 for 5. Nothing wrong with that average and strike rate. Been impressive in the brief opportunities he's had at this level. And South Africa need a big effort from him this evening. David Miller uses his feet, doesn't get to the pitch of it, so has to smear it away to mid-on. Convinced about this dismissal. Van Bullion getting himself into a bit of a tangle. If he did pick it, he wasn't really in a position to work it through the leg side. But quality bowling from Zampa. The length is superb. The variation. Ball turning back. It's the googly. Perfectly bowled.
Well, it's one to... You're only going to get a single for the shot he played, so you might as well knock it down the ground with a straight bat to mid-on who's back. It's just a bit of flawed thinking. Anyway, let's focus on this. 67 for 5, and we're at the nub of it really for the South Africans. It's David Miller with a bit of help from his friends, or nothing at all, you think. And the trouble is Miller's left with so much to do. The rate's already 13 1/4 per over. 126 from 57 balls. I mean, you look at it and you just write it off, but we know better than that. Miller's one of the cleanest strikers going around. One of the big differences tonight has been the amount of times that the South Africans have picked the fielders, and there's a good example. One guy setting a single in front of square, and Pretorius has picked him out rather than miss him and earn 2 into that vacant mid-wicket area. Now he's dropped back. So in other words, Agar's happy enough to give the single away. The over so far, 4 singles in a dot, when the rate required is 13 1/2. Ouch. Very tidy cricketer is Ashton Agar at 70 for 5. Matt Pearce, the rugby commentator, on the left of picture. And next to him, of course, Shimi Shamangi. They're good mates, those two. And what a good job. Not one of the leading callers of rugby in the world game. Matt Sun at the front there too, in the South African shirt.
Shimmy strutted some of his stuff here in a game where the Proteas played. I think he was on the park at one stage. Happy to be on TV, the youngsters. Old Pat for the two behind them.
Yeah.
Come on, Zorb, come on, Zorb!
That's out, I think. No, they're going to have a look. They're going to have a look. I reckon that Victoria's made it back.
The T20 format, there's no doubt it requires a bit of aggression, a bit of risk-taking, but some of the shots played in the middle overs here hasn't been the best from the South African pair. No problem with the front foot. It's just whether he gathers it in time again to get it back onto the stumps. Oh, did the bat bounce up? It's down there. But does it pop back up into the air as the bails are taken off?
I think if you've grounded it, aren't you okay? Well, I don't think.
I think that's the new regulation.
Yeah, it changed a few years back. If you ground it and then it bounces up, you're okay. But you have to have grounded it first. Not out. On we go.
Some of the shots through this middle period, class and reverse sweep, paddle from Van der Dussen, Van Biljoen, very good on the eye from the South Africans. Torres almost got himself into trouble. That's the variation played a bit better.
I think it was stop. Amazing how fast the rate moves. You know, Tommy was just talking about 10 and over. And the comment was doing before, it's already 14 and a half and over now. Damage was done really in the early stages. Flying start from Aaron Finch and Steve Smith. I always feel you're taking a heck of a gamble if you put an Australian cricket team into bat. Australians are weaned on batting first and then doing the bullying with the ball. And that's what seems to be the story tonight. 75 for 5.
I also don't think the surface was as slow and holding as much as the South Africans thought it would be. But they were brilliant up front. Finch and Warner were absolutely superb, as has been Zampa. 2 for 10, Agar 1 for 15. Once again, the spinners in the middle overs controlling things against South Africa.
Yeah, after Mitchell Stark bowled very fast. And best of all, Stark found a Jaffa for Quinton de Kock, who's got into a bit of a tangle against him as he did at the Wanderers. Not quite as embarrassing to watch as the one at the Wanderers, but we all know what an important figure Quinton de Kock is, and I think if he's going to keep wicket and captain, it's hard if he's in the field and conceding 190 and then has to open up. All the traffic of that in his head. Pity, because there's a good crowd in. If it wasn't for the one stand that's been demolished, or the area that's been demolished and the development is taken there, we'd have a full house, great atmosphere, and of course it's a great place for an occasion such as this. as yet at least, it hasn't taken off. David Miller's the man to change that.
You do look down the batting order, and to come, Rabada, Nokia, and Giri Shamsi, so I think it has to be this pair as well. Miller is going to obviously have to be the mainstay, but Pretorius needs to be with him for at least another 6 overs, I think, to have any chance, South Africa.
Picked up and hit miles and miles and miles by Dwayne Pretorius. Well, it's something to shout about.
Yeah, this is a brilliant shot by Pretorius. 145 kilometers per hour. It's just the length wasn't short enough. I'm not too sure if Cummins was thinking about the short pitch delivery, but it's back of a length, and it's 83 meters. Wanted to come off the bat, and no doubt it was going the distance. Seam skidded on, and off the middle it went.
Wonderful takeaway with the arms and bat lift.
Followed up with what has become a very fashionable delivery in the T20 format, the slow ball bouncer. Let's take a lot of good practice to make sure you can hit it into the surface and make sure it comes at exactly the right length. This one just a little bit too short, pops comfortably over the head.
Where did you first see that? I reckon the first IPL. It's the first time I remember, 2008.
I used to bowl them in 2008. I didn't have the quicker one anymore. It had to be the slow one. Stick it in the surface.
Who was the Indian who opened for Rajasthan when they won it that first year? Tall Indian seamer and
Munaf Patel?
Yeah, Munaf, that's right. And he bowled them really well. Excitement of that first IPL. Shane Warne led the Rajasthan Royals to a thrilling victory. And it still retains all the excitement today that it had then.
The changing face of fast bowling in T20 cricket. Quicker deliveries 53%, slow balls 47%. Often you want to bowl it as slow as possible, you want to cut it as much as possible and bowl it as far away from the wickets as possible.
Slower, and that's out. He has slapped it as David Miller straight to extra cover, and Aaron Finch's celebration tells you all you need to know. They regard Miller as the key wicket here, and perhaps even the end game.
You get the feeling, I think it's wicket, game, match series. David Miller was probably the last hope for South Africa, and it gets this sort of celebration. He knows how big it was. Miller stands in the middle of the wicket a bit circumspect, and he has to make his way off the ground. Not quite sure how it squirted out to him and ended up with his dismissal, but he goes for 15, 87 for 6.
KG Rabada, you have to play a blinder. He actually played quite well at the Wanderers in the first game, got about 20. But this is a heck of an ask at the rate of 15 and over. He has all the strokes, he's good fun to watch, but this might be the nail in the coffin, as they say, as Miller slaps it to Aaron Finch, who's got a very safe pair of hands.
bat just turned in his hand a touch, which meant it went in a direction he wasn't intending. He was probably trying to hit it straight down the ground. The Australian captain, I think, identifies that that was the last chance for South Africa. End of the over, 87 for 6. So through the hashtag KFC Big Bucket National Competition, KFC have given away lucky winners an all-expenses trip to a once-in-a-lifetime experience of coming to the game and watching the game from the KFC Big Bucket. And most of the winners are there this evening. I got to meet them a little bit earlier, and they're thoroughly enjoying the experience. Great view from up there.
Well, Ducott was the key wicket early on, so too Faf du Plessis. There's 10 balls between them. There was hope with Van der Dussen and Heinrich Klaassen, but hope that was soon dashed. He hit it. He hasn't hit it. No, he hasn't hit it. So Marsh has got his man. Sort of ugly sort of shot, done completely, I think, by the pace of the ball and reviewed.
Get the feeling Australia don't have to turn to Mitchell Marsh, but they want to have a look, give him a bit of bowling under the belt. Absolutely no issues with that front foot. It's an all-time best landing spot. I think it's just got to do whether he got some contact on it, because it looks stone dead if you can get the bottom edge.
I think that Pretorius has given himself out. We're watching Ultra Edge. He certainly hasn't hit it, and Pretorius has seen what's up on the big screen and departed. We can see that, you can't, but we will in a minute, because I agree, Sean, it's stone dead.
Almost looks like it's a little bit of a leg cutter from Mitchell Marsh, but perfect, straight up, good length, hitting the stumps, and does the damage with his first delivery in the match. Review lost, wicket taken, 87 for 7.
Well, they've played some very good cricket, the Australians, tonight, and that was one of those moments. A slower ball, first up from big Mitchell Marsh. It does for Dwayne Pretorius. He goes for 11. It's 87 for 7.
Next man to the crease for South Africa. Saw lots of rear guard action from the Test series. What can he do in the shorter format? I think the thinking had to be, I'm the last recognised batsman, I've got to use the review, because there was not much going for it. I thought maybe he knew that he'd got inside edge, but clearly it wasn't even close to the bottom edge of the bat.
Well, Henrik Nortje's off the mark. What a brave performance from him in the Test series against England. He came in and fought with the bat in hand on 2 or 3 occasions. Once batted 3 hours, I think. That might have been, I might be wrong, but I think it was about 3 hours. In fact, his role with the bat in the win in the first Test match at Centurion was sensational. Marsh to Rabada. Oh, hello, don't hit. Oh. So one thing I've picked up tonight, how well the Australian bowlers watch the angles of the shot and how they move then to a position to back up the throw. Saw it with Pat Cummins in the last over, just seen it again with Mitchell Marsh here. He isn't that far to go, but he's perfectly placed. He's the guy that fielded that ball. It would be typical of a team run by Justin Langer that there would be attention to detail, and we've seen that with the running between the wickets, which is very impressive, particularly against the new ball. Finch and Warner have run the Australians ragged during this series. There he is in the right of picture, JL. Couple here, but Rabada doesn't want it. That's a long two if you're really sprinting him. 90 for 7.
Series that's been dominated by the Australian bowlers. Senegal got 5 in one match, including a hat-trick. Another spin twin, Adam Zampa. Good for his 5 wickets. Pat Cummins 4. Mitchell Stark got 2 important ones, both times knocking over Quinton de Kock, who is the most likely to do the damage for South Africa. To land the ball in a good length, often smashing into the top of the stumps, which makes it difficult for the batsman to hit it away. That's good.
Out as well, had to be in front of the lot. The reverse sweep, the miss, the 8th wicket falls. And South Africa's frustration, indeed, South Africa's humiliation is close to complete.
I suppose Nortje's watched the top order play similar kind of shots, so he tries to implement it himself. It's the arm delivery, beautifully released, seam position, fantastic. And it goes on a lot quicker, 100 kilometers per hour, and it crashes into the pad long before Nortje can get that bat down. And he just turns around to have a little glance and see the finger go up. He knew it was out, Ashton Agar. Good variation, lands it perfectly. Nortje goes for 2, South Africa 90 for 8.
And that's bowled as well. 9 down now. South Africa are being torn apart here at Newlands.
Surely he can't get 2 hat-tricks in one T20 series.
He can.
He can, and he's got as good a chance as possible. He's got the number 11 at the crease, and this delivery is the same one as the last one. It's the right arm, 100km/h arm delivery. Clatters into middle stump. Lungi and Giddy just looking to have an absolute mo first delivery. Doesn't think too much about that one. Anyway, it's going to be a hat-trick delivery now. South Africa bowled out for 89 at the Wanderers. They're 90 for 9 here at Newlands.
But you don't see that ball bowled by many finger spinners these days. The old-fashioned seam up. You know, it used to be called an arm ball. That's a particularly quick one. You don't see it. When they get curve in or out, it tends to be because of the revs on the ball rather than because it's effectively a slow swinger, isn't it? And here's Tabré Shamsi, the final rights of the match. Forget winning the game, it's a rate of 19 and over required. The lowest score here at Newlands, 101 by Sri Lanka. Patrick Ball keeps it out. Back foot defence, no silly pointing, no short leg, just a couple of slips and survival.
Yeah, same delivery, just 5 kilometres now quicker. It's worked twice in a row, why not? And it was spot on. It probably would have hit into the top of off stump.
Gone, 91 for 9. 2 wickets in that Ashtonaga over, the LBW. No problem with that decision. And the old mighty slog from the number 10. Nice bowling from Ashtonaga. We have a change in the commentary box as coming in Bangor and Mike Hazeman coming.
Thanks, Mark. Just need the one, Australia. Gee, they've totally outplayed South Africa tonight. Really has been a commanding performance. That opening stand was quite extraordinary. That certainly set them on the right path. After 10 overs, 114 for none. That was some going between Warner and Finch. And then, of course, the bowlers have done a fine job as well. The wicket of Quinton de Kock first up really put South Africa on the back foot, and spinners have bowled well. Zampa's got a couple, 2 for 10. Agar 3 for 16. Stuck again. Clipped away, 4 runs.
Nicely clipped that. With pace on it as well, so he just has to get some bat on it. It's misdirected from Mitchell Stark. Love it.
Big shout. Is the finger going up this time? Yes, it is. There it is. Unless there's a review. I wonder if they're going to have a chat. No.
They don't have
They've got
one.
none left. It's all over. He wants a review anyway. Terrific performance by Australia. This has just been an outstanding performance today. They said before the game they're treating this like a really big match. It was going to be in front of a very big crowd here at Newlands. They wanted to make sure they played really well. They said South Africa played superbly in the last game. They knew they're up against a really good side as well. Well, they've just blown them away. Simple as that. And they win by 97 runs. That is some victory.
It's huge. Massive. Just like what happened in Johannesburg. Again, look back there, and Australia piling on runs first up. And then South Africa absolutely blown away when they had a go at batting. And that man in picture is led from the front, is the skipper. up at the top today with his partner David Warner, who's right behind him. They blitzed South Africa. And many will look back and say, well, why would you afford these Aussies the chance to bat first and set the game up? You do that, you play into their hands, and that's what's happened. Quinton de Kock will lead his troops to go and shake hands and congratulate the Australians and hope that the next time they meet they can get one over them.
The South Africans are going to be very disappointed. They had a real chance today, I think, after their last game of getting a hand or two on the silverware. It hasn't happened again, so it's been a bit of a barren summer, really. They've got a 50-over competition to come. But T20 series has eluded them. But Australia have been so dominant today. They really have. I have a feeling they caught South Africa on the back foot right at the start. And suddenly when a couple of balls went disappearing out the park off that broad bat of Finch in particular, and then also David Warner, it really made a massive difference to the mindset of South Africans. And I think that there were some scrambled brains out there at that stage.
Lowest T20 total in T20 international total here at Newlands. South Africa 96 all out. Now look at the final wicket to fall. Thought about it for some time, did Adrian Holstock, wondering whether it might have spun past that leg stump. Nope. Even if it clips the outside, those bails will fall off. Correct decision. And how apt it is that Mitchell Starc is the one that ends things, because he was quite brilliant up at the front to get rid of two key men in South Africa's order. As you look down their order, there are two men you'd pick out straight away. Quinton de Kock, the skipper, and Faf du Plessis, the former skipper. And he got them two out. Top work.
Yeah, one was a brilliant delivery to get rid of de Kock, and the other one was a fine catch, actually, a third man when du Plessis chased a wide one. Zampa was the catcher on that occasion. So ended up with 3 for 23 with Mitchell Starc. He has been such a dominant performer for Australia for a long, long time. And he gets that white ball to swing beautifully right at the top. Made a big difference to the Wanderers. Not so much swing today, it was more about just pace as he ran in, and he's always going to get some extra bounce with that added height that he's got. As we look back at the card, de Kock, only 5 runs today. He can't do it every time, I suppose. He's had an outstanding summer. It's almost been every time, but not today.
What it shows you is an over-reliance on him, because you get him out generally, and that's it. And I know it might seem unfair to say that of the rest of them, but in terms of performance, that really is what it has been. If Quinton de Kock doesn't get runs, then there's nobody else to steer the ship, which is a lot of pressure, and the guy's got to keep wicket and bat right up at the top as well as captain.
Quite a few headlines actually leading into this game saying that South Africa could do with 1 or 2 other guys to stand up alongside de Kock, or you can see by these partnerships also. It just didn't happen. 17 between du Plessis and van der Dussen. Klaassen and van der Dussen, they threatened. 34 of 29. And then just 22 off 19. David Miller not getting going again. So there's another question mark about David Miller. It's been some time since he's scored some really good handy runs for South Africa. But in the end, there's been very little resistance there as far as South Africa is concerned.
Brilliant from Mitchell Starc. 3 for 23. And it's the wickets he gets right up at the top. Just in the same way as you want your top order to set up the batting for you and get a platform, you want the tone set by your big fast men. And Mitchell Starc did that. Certainly the pick. Got to mention the spinners though, because they've been good throughout the tournament. 3 for 16 for Agar and 2 for 10 for Zampa. A good all-round bowling performance from this Australian bowling attack as they were defending a big total.
You remember in the build-up that Adam Zampa said that the reason him and Agar perform so well together is they've got such a good understanding between each other. They know their roles, they know their jobs, and if you look at the numbers between the spinners, 5 for 26 between the spinners, so that really is some going. So Australia batting first and batting really well right at the start. That was the big difference in this game. Warner 57, 37 balls only. 55 for Finch off 37 balls as well. Smith unfinished with 30 in the end. 193, where they were threatening to get a little bit past the 200 mark at one stage. South Africa came back quite nicely as soon as they picked up that wicket and broke that opening partnership. Shamsi did well, and Gidi came back well again. South African reply blown away for 96 with Van der Dussen and Klaassen in the 20s, but it was all about the Australian bowlers. Stark, Agar and also Zampa as Australia won the third and final game in the KFC T20 International by 97 runs. Well, there's some faces that certainly tell a bit of a story. All three would have had high hopes today, as long as also as the gentleman sitting behind Mark Boucher. Quinton de Kock as the captain. He would have felt the same after the way they played in Port Elizabeth. Not very much at all went right today for South Africa. Okay, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll be not too far away from the presentation.
Gotcha. Boys, we're on.
Nice.
Let's do this.
Snap. I'm on my way.
Where are we going, Mel?
Home, James.
Who is it, honey?
Everybody! The sport you love, all in one place. Yours.
People tend to use the trusted brands because they know that they're going to get value for money, they're going to last a long time, and they'll give you the confidence to get any job done that you need.
Holman Spotlight Pack, only $99. Victor 18-volt blower and trimmer kit, $199. Mimosa Adjustable Sun Lounge, $179. 4-litre Taubman's all-weather exterior, just $73.90.
Where you find a competitor's lower price, on the same stock datum will beat it by 10%.
Bunnings Warehouse.
Shop at Bunnings wherever you are, whenever you want.
Toyota Camry. Defy expectation. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
We can all achieve greatness. We get there by building to it. Show us what you've got, and we'll show you what you can achieve. What will you bring?
Customers do get great value when they walk in the door. Value for money is important to customers, and they want good quality and the right price. And you can get that at Bunnings.
5-litre Cabot's Aquadeck Ready Bucket, only $89. Ryobi 18-volt lawnmower kit, $399. Karcher window vacuum, $119. 2-piece barbecue tool set, just $29.95.
Where you find a competitor's lower price, on the same stock datum will beat it by 10%.
Bunnings Warehouse.
Shop at Bunnings wherever you are, whenever you want.
Always make a good impression.
Connecting Bluetooth.
Or just be yourself. Change the rules. The new look Toyota CHR. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
Having the trusted brands gives the customer the confidence that they're going to get the end result they want when they complete their project.
You'll find the brands that you know and trust at warehouse prices.
4-litre Dulux Weather Shield, only $81.90. DeWalt 18-volt lawnmower kit, $799. Ryobi 18-volt hammer drill kit, $199. Earthwell insulation bats, just $72.
Where you find a competitor's lower price, on the same stock datum will beat it by 10%.
Bunnings Warehouse.
Shop at Bunnings wherever you are, whenever you want.
Righto, just a reflection on the Australian tour of South Africa. We've finished that T20 International Series now. The first one, Australia won by plenty at the Wanderers, 107 runs. The second one was in Port Elizabeth, where they won by 12 runs, did South Africa. So it was 1-1 leading into this third and final one. Australia won by 97 runs and, of course, win that series 2-1. We've got the one days to come. But before that, we've got the presentation with Mark Nicholas.
Thanks, yeah. Welcome to our post-match presentation. Before we begin, we'd like to thank our sponsors, KFC, for their ongoing support. With me here is iconic Kenkwe. No, I should have said with it. Kurza. My Kurza's not good enough, is it? And Beresford Williams. So thank you for joining us. We're going to talk to Quinton de Kock first, if we may. Well, after the hope of Port Elizabeth, no joy tonight.
No, absolutely none. You know, it's quite disappointing the way we lost, but you know, we've got to keep our heads up and keep looking forward.
Yeah, if you had your time again, would you ask those two to bat first on that pitch?
Definitely, I think, you know, I think we still would have rather have chased. I think they were 20 runs above par, and yeah, unfortunately, this wasn't the case of us winning tonight.
It's a long time until the World T20 World Cup in Australia. What are the key things you want to get sorted?
A lot of things. I think, you know, time in the middle for our players. I think that's key. You know, just get back into winning ways just before the tournament, I think would be a great start.
Any plans for changes? Other players being brought in?
To be honest, this is our last T20 for a while, so I haven't given it any thought. But I'm sure when time comes closer, we'll have a chat and have a sit down and we'll gather our thoughts.
You'd have to say that Australia at home would be one of the favourites in that T20 World Cup.
Yeah, obviously they're playing really good cricket. They've always been a strong competitive team. And yeah, they're always just tough to beat. And I'm sure at home we know how well they play there.
OK, Quinny, well, good luck in the one-day series. That's important for you now.
Yeah, obviously, you know, there's a couple of guys getting some opportunities there, and hopefully we can just get a series win.
OK, thanks very much for your time. All right. Let's move first to our man of the match tonight. We reckon that batsmen get awards too often, and the SuperSport commentary team for a blistering spell with the new ball knocking over two key men at the top of the order. Figures of 2 for 19. Tonight's player of the match is